Hey everybody,
Hey,
how's it doing? It's finally Friday. TGIF. Hi Night, how you doing? I got my cat ears on tonight to match the see. They don't light up though, and they're not headphones.
hey, they're super cute though.
Well, thank you. Hi Truffle. Oh, what a week, man. What a week. Hey Snoop, how's everyone doing?
Man, I was just so ready for this week to be over. I can't even begin to describe.
I know. I don't blame you. Especially work hecticness. I don't blame you either. It was one hell of a week, I'll tell you.
I
And
was
then just,
laughing. I was laughing earlier at the condors that Truffle sent us,
oh my
just chilling
God.
outside the house.
That's awesome. Uh,
Oh, Truffle, you have no idea how mad I am about that. I was trying to tell my mom the story about the dog with yeah. So
yeah.
I told her about maybe a quarter of it, and she was like, "Okay, we're gonna have to stop talking about this."
I haven't talked to my mom yet, but I was going to tell her too. And the more that I think about it, it's worse than, I don't know, like you just don't do that. And I watched the whole video with Xylee today on her stream, and it just made me even worse because I just watched clips before, and then watching the whole video made me even more mad.
And
And
finding out she's a trained actress and that was the best job she could do, because I'm sorry, she did not look sad or upset.
no,
Neither one of them did.
no. Oh, honey, oh, let me lean on your shoulder. I could do that too. My invisible
I'll have to admit, Truffle,
person.
when I was a kid, my mom was really, and dad both were both big on the, you keep messing with that dog, he's probably going to bite you.
Same here. Same here. And I had a husky, and I mean, it was a loving husky, but my dad definitely said that to me.
Yeah. I mean, my dog, they let a small child name her, so her name was Poochie. But she never bit anybody, but they still warned you every single time.
Yep. I don't think any of, no, just
Oh, I
I
felt
mean, my,
bad for Xylee on that stream. You could tell how bad it was hurting her to even talk about it.
I was crying with her. I was crying with her at the end. It bothered me just how much she was upset and how I was upset, and it was a mess. But she did a really good job doing the reaction to it, I think. And if you didn't see it, definitely go check it out. I know Charlotte also did a reaction to it as well. She didn't do the whole video, she did parts, but it was still really good. It just, if you can't handle that, then try not to watch it because it makes you mad. It really makes me, it made me frustrated, made me mad. And when Xylee was like, I'm ready to throw something, I'm like, girl, I've already thrown something. Like, I've already done that. I've been mad.
Yeah,
Hey, Cooch.
I couldn't even finish all of Xylee's stream. I left it playing so that she'd get the watch hours, but I went and
Yeah.
started like cooking dinner because I was like, I came home early from work today, and
Oh,
I ended up
okay.
I ended up cooking some dinner and then taking a nap and then getting up and being like, man, I need to put on some lipstick so I can get on stream with Jackie.
I know. Hey, Kim. Here she is.
Hey.
How's dinner going? What'd you make?
Tacos.
Oh, love tacos.
Ooh, yummy. That's why Kim was a little late, guys. She was making tacos, and I'm jealous. And yes, Night Runner. It does kind of remind me of the whole Janelle Eason story, but kind of worse because just the horrible acting job and just everything that they didn't do. Like, I was mad. Okay, you have all this money and you have all these subscribers. Why didn't you go try to train the dog? Why didn't you try to rehome the dog? Your excuse for wanting to rehome the dog, saying, well, if the dog bites the new owners, then we can get in trouble. I've never heard that. I haven't looked it up yet, but I've never heard that. You giving away an animal and then the dog. That's like saying my brother's dog that he has, if that dog, which has bit me, I can go sue the people that they got it from because it was with another family previous.
I also didn't realize that they had another dog.
Oh my God, neither did I.
Like, I didn't get that far into the video to see that part where she's holding the little dog next to her, and that's just...
And then the photos of her laying with the dog, and this is the worst day ever, or whatever. This has been an exhausting day.
That poor little baby was just so happy. Like, you can see that dog smiling in those photos.
Yeah. I mean, the dog definitely was traumatized, and they could have done something more. That should have been a warning, like, 3 strikes you're out. If the dog, I mean, that's just me. One bite, like, do something then. Train your dog. And if you don't want the dog, rehome it.
It sounded more to me from what I was describing, and I don't want to minimize it, but it sounded more like a warning, because I feel like that dog could have done some major damage to a toddler had he wanted to. Yeah,
well, it depends on, like, we don't even know how serious of a bite. Was it like a nip, or
that's what I'm saying? It sounds like a warning nip to me, because if the bulldog bit down on a toddler with the intention of actually doing something to a toddler, it's going to have that strength to do it.
Yeah. Hey, Words Have Power, Murder Hour. If you haven't checked out her channel, you guys need to check out her channel. It's awesome. Hey, Cher. We were just over there watching her. That's what we were doing before the stream. And I was getting ready. I was getting pretty for all ya. Because I
feel like
do
I'm
much.
going to have to order some cat ears on Amazon tonight.
Right? I was like, I went in my makeup drawer and I found my cat ears. I was like, oh shit, I got to wear these tonight.
I mean, I have a pair that I got off the City Walk that are super cool too, but they're not headphones, Kim. So they have them down there already.
I feel like they need to be headphones because I wear headphones when I do this.
I'm going to have to get myself a pair of headphones. Well, we have the Amazon link. So
I was going to say, I put the Amazon link in Discord.
And it's in the description of our Wednesday night rant. So.
And they have different colors. I just liked the hot pink with the blue.
Well, I'm going hot pink all the way. That's just me.
And like I was before the stream, I was telling Jackie, I actually own 2 pairs of cat ear headphones, but my other ones don't light up. So these ones take precedent every time.
I did have some,
why wouldn't
but
you want
my
them?
daughter stole them a few years ago. And there's a unicorn one somewhere around here.
That would be cute too.
Oh my God. I would totally go unicorn. Well, you know me. I'm obsessed with unicorn. Unicorns and cats I'm obsessed with. And thank you. Yes, it's a very maroony color pop. And Stacy has on her color pop as well. So.
Yeah, mine is the Wild Child palette, if you are into browns and golds.
And mine's the Wine Only, which is all maroons. And then this is the lippy that I have on. Can't really see it. But it's Brink.
Oh, that's cute. My makeup tonight is 12-hour-old work makeup.
Aw, I get it.
I would tell you what kind of lipstick I have, but I don't know what I did with. Oh, here it is. My lipstick is the I Love Lucy collection of Love That Redhead from Besame Cosmetics.
Ooh.
And she's very, very cute.
Ooh, very red. Very red.
I am indeed wearing my Todd Come Get You Girl shirt.
Yes, you are.
I got my shirt today too.
Awesome.
It says, someone needs to tell you, and I will be the one. And I love it so much.
Love that. Now I just gotta wait on my shady palm tree one to come in.
Girl,
There you
I got
go.
that in every single style.
Did you?
Yes.
I did. I was able to get one in a light pink because, like, when I went back to show someone what I got, the light pink wasn't an option anymore. So I'm thinking it might be sold out.
Oh no. That's what I wanted too. I was waiting for the BF to get paid. So, But what a week on YouTube it has been. And I feel like it gets crazier and crazier and crazier every week. Or we just find out more and more stuff, and it's one day it's gonna explode on YouTube, I feel like. I don't know about you guys, but it started off. Well,
like there's always a Dramageddon, but I
there
feel like
is.
what happened, like I feel like it did go crazy this week, and I feel like it's getting more and more toxic and more dangerous. And I'm sure we're
Yeah.
gonna get into that later because it's been a bad week, But it's just
Yeah.
really like there's stuff right now out there that's just it's bad for your health.
Yeah. Definitely, if you feel like you're going crazy or YouTube's making you crazy, it's okay to take a mental health break. It really is. Because YouTube isn't going to go away. So the only thing you can do is take a mental health break from it. And it does help. I did that when I went to visit my parents in February. But then I came back to craziness. So it helped that week and then came back to craziness.
I think like the best thing I did in the last month is that the creator we all dislike, I have not watched anything she has done in a month. If somebody posts on a little clip on Twitter or a little clip here, I'll see that. But it has done wonders just not even going to her channel or her lives.
Good
Just
for
ignoring
you.
it all.
Good for you, because
And I feel like if I were to watch
the
the way she's been covering this, I would probably be ready to have an aneurysm.
That's true. It's been crazy. Well, it started off with late Friday night, so after our live, Trisha Paytas had posted a video on her blonde doll for MJ. And she talked about, so this kind of goes into like last week's recap. She kind of talked about her mental breakdown that she had and the whole Gabby Hanna thing without saying Gabby's name. I will point that out. But she inferred it was about Gabby Hanna. And she talked about how it just so happened that week she was restarting medication again, that her therapist and her psychologist got together, made the decision that she should, get back on medicine, and she's now back on medicine. But she was like pretty much at the recording studio making a new song when she felt like everything that the way she described it, it's like she thought, her boyfriend was going to leave her, or her fiance. Her parents weren't going to be happy that she was getting on medicine again, that everyone was going to find out. It was like she called it a mind-altering reality. And she just thought like all the info or blackmail was going to come out. But then when she finally came out of that and she called her therapist, she went and saw him and came out of it, she realized she says everything online and there was nothing that she was hiding. And what she was thinking is just her mind process. And I can tell you I've had those moments as well. But she turned her phone off and she just kind of took a little break and things got better for her. She made the video and she explained it to all of us, and she just pretty much, it was due to the one isolated incident in the past week that she was unhappy. She wanted to address it and let people know what the problem was and why she kind of went and had this mental breakdown where she was in the car crying, and she said like a homeless guy came to the window and he was worried about her. And so that's how the week started, Friday night after our live. I'm glad she's back on medicine and getting the help she needs.
Yes, Truffles. The preferred pronouns from Trisha is they, them now. but she also said she doesn't mind going by she, her.
Yes, that is true. Yes. Which listen, I'm going to try my hardest when I talk about her to say them there. But I know my mind, I just think she. I understand it, but it's something new to me that I have to train my brain kind of thing. Like 21 times to make a habit, break a habit. I kind of have to do that with her or anyone that wants to be.
You never know how many times, I didn't mean to cut you off. You never know
No, it's
how
okay.
many times, like, you don't realize how many times you refer to someone as she, her, him, he, like, until you have to refer to them as them, they. And like, in
Yep.
this stream, I think you've said
Yeah.
it probably like 10 or 15 times in the last minute.
I know.
And you just don't realize it, you know? And it's so it's like such a conscious effort to have to do that because it's still new to us. But, you know, it is respectful. But yeah, I mean, people do need time to get their brains right about it.
Yes, exactly. And like that's why when people were saying to Gabby like she shouldn't be doing it, I can understand when she's on a stream and she's ranting. But when you're typing it out on Twitter, I mean, at least I do. I reread and reread before I post. That's when I would notice it then and correct myself.
Well, and also it was pointed out to her and she continued to she never made an effort not to do it. Like Gabby Hanna did.
True. Yeah.
And that's the issue is that I'll admit at some point I'm probably going to use the wrong pronoun for somebody because this is all new to me and I'm trying to do better, but I'll probably slip up.
Yeah.
But I will be trying to do better. Gabby Hanna was told and she was still like, I don't care. This is what I'm saying about this person.
Yep.
And that's kind of like what we were talking about with Ren is that you got to try to do better.
Try to make an effort to do better. Show us that you are sorry. But that's, that happened. That was this week too, all of that. But then
it's kind of like when I was trying to get over my speech impediment as a child, I would have to stop and think of the word in my head before I could say it out loud just so it would come out the way it's supposed to sound.
Oh, yeah. I get that.
So, like, there's awkward pauses in my sentences sometimes. That's why, because there's still some words that I'll get caught up on and I have to say it in my head real quick. And then I'm like, yes, that's how you say that.
It's true. Then we go into Saturday. Shane Dawson posted his Instagram story pictures of himself in an RV with the caption, entering my next phase of life, RV person, which continued with another RV picture saying, why is this me, an RV? And then another RV picture. Then finally, he posted a picture of his new bear that he had gotten with the caption, I know I'm still pretty inactive on social media, but it's just because I'm trying to figure out what I want to do with my life and what makes me happy. I'm in a pretty good place mentally after a long time of struggle. So I don't want to have a backslide, but I promise at some point I will be more present on here and more open about stuff. Hope you guys have a great weekend. Which I do have the tweet to share with you guys as well. I mean, it's a cute bear. You'll see the bear in a second.
It's definitely like typical Shane. This is definitely a post. He loves bears and things, like he's got them all over his house. So it's cute. It's very much like him. I'm kind of glad he's sliding back into it. The RV is rented, by the way.
Yep. Yes,
so
it is.
If anyone's wondering, he did not buy an RV, but they are testing it out. So maybe he will buy one.
Yep. Hey, I camped as a kid and I had a lot of fun. We had a campground that we went to that the campers stayed, but I mean, I learned some awesome things camping as a kid every weekend and won a lot of pool tournaments. So that's why I do really good at pool and impress guys that don't think I can play pool. That was a good one. But yeah, camping's fun. And Stacy, you're muted and I can see that you're trying to talk.
I was going to say, camping for us was never fun, but we never had an RV when I was a kid.
Yeah, same. No RV. Camping was not fun. It was full of bugs, wildlife, tents that didn't stay up, places I didn't want to be, and whitewater rafting, which was usually a problem. So
I remember losing one of my jelly slippers in the river because the current took it, and crying for an entire weekend as a child because it was my favorite pink pair of jelly sandals.
Devastating.
I don't have fond memories of that stuff as a kid. I'm like, this sucks and I want to go home.
Right. I remember ants and mosquitoes. That's about it.
Oh, see, we went every weekend. My God, I think I did it until I was almost 17 that we stopped camping. So like my first concert was with all my campground friends. That's when I saw Creed for $5. The first time I ever went to the movie theaters was with them. I actually saw Independence Day was my first movie, which scared when the alien jumped out of the tank. That's the only thing that's ever scared me in a movie before. That really scared the living daylights out of me. But
I remember my mom took me for my 10th birthday to go see Independence Day.
See, yep. How'd you like the alien coming out of the tank? That thing scares me.
Loved it, but my mom also was a very weird mother because at like 6, she was letting me rent Child's Play at Blockbuster.
Yep, mine too. Like I saw Poltergeist. I think at my 9th birthday party, a girl locked herself in the bathroom at my house because it was a summer party, of course, and we rented Poltergeist 3, and she was like, I cannot watch this. And I'm like, now looking back, I'm like, Mom, my mom, she really just was off the rails, letting 9-year-olds watch Poltergeist 3 at a sleepover. Wow. I wonder if all the other parents knew. I don't know.
Probably not.
My mom got a call from a parent one time and they were like, what are the kids going to be doing? And she's like, she rented Mean Girls. This is how old I was. This is how old we were when this woman called my mom. And she goes, have you watched it first to make sure it's appropriate for them? And my mother, without even missing a beat, was like, absolutely. It's fine. Hung up the phone, looked at me, and she's like, I'm not watching your dumb shit.
Yeah, right? Oh, my God.
Well, speaking of horror movies, this is another reason I don't like camping because growing up, 99.9% of horror movies were about camping. So I'm just
That's true. From it. That's true. That's true.
And I think I've seen about 99% of every camping horror movie that's out there.
Hey, Knuckles. Yeah, see, I don't know, but that didn't bother me. I mean, I was like a Children of the Corn fan, and I still like Children of the Corn.
But, because of Jaws, I would not swim in the ocean. I would only go in, my dad had to take me with him, or I would stay up there and play at the shore. Like, nope, I saw Jaws.
Oh, yeah. Well, you're further south, too, where there is possible sharks. I mean, we got, like, cold water sharks up here, but...
Yeah, well, see,
we don't go swimming.
We lived really close to Virginia Beach when I was a kid.
Yeah.
So we spent a lot of our time during the summer at Virginia Beach. And I wouldn't go in the water. I would just grab my little pail, get enough water to go play in the sand.
Yeah. Our water here is, well, if you've been to New York, you know how New York water is. It's not, you can't see through it. It's disgusting looking. Most people don't go in it. And then there's those what are they called? They're like the horseshoe crabs that are like the flat shelled and they have that long tail. Those are everywhere. And if you step on one, you think it's like a rock and then all of a sudden it starts moving. Yeah, I don't do that. So I don't go swimming in this ocean. And God only knows what you find in the water besides animals.
I remember them letting us watch it as a kid. and then me not sleeping for a month straight because my older sister could impersonate Pennywise's voice. And so she would just sit outside my room and be like, "Hello, Stacy," in Pennywise voice for like a month.
Oh my gosh.
As an adult, I would go back and punch her in the face for that.
Right?
Oh my gosh. So yes, that's so Shane might be making a comeback. Who knows? Well, we kind of speculated that last week when he did his mystery boxes, saying maybe he's trying to feel out the community by the mystery boxes,
And the way they sold out, it seems like the community was still there for him.
And the creators that I did watch that talked about Shane, they were saying, like, well, maybe this is another way to see it, and he realizes they sold out, so let's see what the Instagram post. I mean, it's all speculation at this rate, but a lot of the comments he did receive were like, I can't believe, we miss you and we want to see you come back. And
well, like I said, when we talked about this before, the people that like him are still going to like him. He's probably never going to get back the people that don't. But he has enough people that do. There's no reason he isn't still out here doing his thing and making his money.
I mean, shoot, if James Charles wants to come back, I think Shane Dawson can come back. I mean, I don't want either. Not that I don't like Shane, because I do like Shane, but James needs to stay away.
Has there been any more news on James Charles, any actual trouble or anything?
Yes, he got into trouble again.
Yeah.
Well, okay, you can call it trouble. He's not gotten into any trouble. No one has held him accountable except for YouTube drama channels and channels, which is not holding him accountable. He's still monetized, right? He's still there's nothing. They demonetized all 3 of Shane's channels for a period of time. I don't know if that's back or not, but I never heard that it was.
I thought that they did finally demonetize James Charles's channel.
That's what I heard too, is that he was demonetized finally. I haven't checked personally in a long time, like in 2 weeks, 3 weeks. I know Stacy's on it. But I thought
why would you think that?
Because I know you. You're FBI Stacy for a reason, and I can hear the keys.
YouTube says it demonetized James Charles' channel temporarily amid allegations. So they're not saying it's going to be a full-on ban, but
they definitely.
But I guarantee you, they're still running ads on his channel. They're just not giving him the money.
Yeah, definitely. So yeah, that was on Saturday. I don't really know if anything happened on Sunday. I didn't see anything happen on Sunday. I don't know if you guys saw anything that happened on Sunday.
I have no sense of days. I can tell you what happened.
I know.
But I can never tell you. Everything to me is the other day.
And Kim, yes, I forgot when we were talking about James Charles real quick. So I was watching T-Spill, which she actually talked about the Shane Dawson. That was the creator I watched for the Shane Dawson. But she also talked about James Charles. So I guess Hollywood, I think that news outlet ran into James's friends, the TikToker friends, and they were the ones saying that, he plans to make a comeback soon. So that's where I heard that.
So he's going to come back and make a video of him doing an inappropriate dance with people 6 years younger than him?
Probably. I mean, let's hope he learns from his mistakes.
And I try not to judge people, but I can tell you as a 22-year-old or 21-year-old, however old he is, I did not want to hang out with people that were 16.
Yeah, no, I'm with
you. I couldn't stand people that were 16.
Yeah. I'm with you.
And now that I'm in my 30s, I couldn't imagine trying to hang out with a 22-year-old. I feel like that would get on my damn nerves.
That's a lot. Yeah. I mean, my brother is 4 years younger than me, and I could tolerate. I mean, I love him now, and we're more on the same wavelength now that he's turning 30. But when he was, when I was 21, I definitely didn't want to be hanging out with my brother. I can tell you that, or any of his friends. I love you guys now, especially Dave, but I wouldn't want to be hanging out with you guys back then.
Yeah, my younger sister, she's like 9 years younger than me. And we get along great because I kind of made her into a mini version of me when she was little. So she acts and talks just like I do. But I wouldn't hang out with her and her friends. Like,
yeah, exactly.
They're not doing the same stuff I'm out doing,
Yep. And then, so Sunday, I don't really know of anything that happened. It was a pretty mellow day. Monday was the tweet that KJ, I know this is just the only thing about KJ this week that I'm putting in here. The tweet that she put out on Twitter saying the lawsuit against her with the Westbrooks have entered into discussion to resolve and dispute without incurring any costs and delays of further litigation. She continued the tweet with saying they have agreed to toll the applicable statute of limitations to permit these discussions to continue without prejudice either party's either party's rights. During the discussion, the parties, KJ and Tati, will not be making public comments or answering questions related to the dispute, which I have that tweet to show you guys. But I mean,
we don't even need to see it if you read it.
I read the tweet pretty much. She broke it in 2 tweets. I read it as one. But what this really means is they're going to be, so what happened was they were going to bring the charges to Minnesota, and I can guarantee Salty was like, hey, if you don't want us to refile, let's try to work this out first outside of the court and try to get this figured out and settled. And KJ had to bite her lip and say, you know what? It cost me this much money. I lost all these subs that I just gained back. You know what? Maybe it's better that we don't.
Part of me wonders if it wasn't her lawyer that reached out first, though, because she's trying to save money, because Salts makes more money if they don't settle.
That's true. It could be. We won't know.
I don't know Salts personally, but I know Stacy, and Stacy's going to do whatever makes Stacy the most money. So I'm assuming Salts is the same.
He is definitely the same if he's an attorney, and I can say that since I've worked for an attorney, I know how they are. Unfortunately, that is their main goal is money. I mean, yes, and their client's best interest.
I mean, I'm just saying, if someone called me today and was like, hey, we'll give you $4 more an hour for the same job you're doing, guess what I'm doing tomorrow? My new job that pays me $4 more an hour.
There you go.
I have a thought about this, and this is all speculation, but I wonder if they are both going to be party to other litigation where they are both the plaintiffs against hackers. Well, Tati wouldn't be, but Salts might be. And because it's like a conflict of interest that due to what's happening with like whatever is going on with the FBI investigation, stuff like that, it's a possibility that they're like, hey, we need to work together later, so we got to figure this out now.
That is also very true.
I also kind of agree with you there, Liam, because either way, this case with KJ could help Tati get the case with Swanson thrown out, because they could prove that Swanson was using Katie as a source. And if she admits that she defamed Tati, then that means her source wasn't something you can go off of. And if she admits that Swanson was her source, then he loses out his thing saying that they hurt the business. Because he was the one that was passing information that would hurt the business.
Yeah, it's very possible. Very possible. And with her saying that either party is not going to discuss this, I think while they're in the mediation part, neither party is going to discuss this. But as soon as things are figured out, someone is definitely going to discuss this, whether it be her or Salty, or like we find out the result and we discuss it, because once it's settled, we'll find out why it was settled. What
I just hope part of the settlement is her having to like get on stream for about 5 minutes straight and just look at the camera and be like, I lied when I said this. I lied when I said that. This was a falsehood. I just want to hear this stream go on for about 5 minutes. And at the end be like, I sincerely apologize. And if I were Toddy and had enough money that I didn't need money from her, that's all I would ask for in the settlement. Just to be like, nope, I want you to go on stream and admit you were wrong.
I forgot what YouTuber said it, but because it was such a long time ago. But when they were like, if Toddy got access to the, like, KJ loses and Toddy got the channel, how funny it would be if just Toddy went on there and was like, hey guys, like, I still want to see that happen. Like, I'm rooting for Toddy to take over her channel. Like, that would be great.
Did you see her not settling just because she had to apologize, like pushing it to, like, no, not doing that?
Yes, 100%. I see that happening because she is that kind of person.
Whereas I would be like, wait, I won't have to pay you money if I just turn on the camera and say I'm sorry, because I'll do that. I don't think will.
I don't think, no, that's biting her pride too much. And she's already probably like kicking herself that she has to do this privately, but I think she's doing it also.
I wouldn't even write one of my normal apologies if I had to do an apology.
Yeah, well, if she knows what's best, she would settle and not have this go to the court. So if they, during this mediation, if they can't come up with a settlement, that's when they will refile and go through the court. Ooh, there goes the other light. It fell because I banged on the table. But yeah.
Yeah,
she knows that Emily made a lot
We
of
know
money,
when you bang on the table.
Oh, you can hear it. I forgot the mic is that good. Damn it. I forgot that. I'll have to bang on this table over here. Not the one that has the mic. Okay.
Yeah, we hear that one too.
I'll have to remember that.
We'll have to get
I love these mics.
We'll have to get you a pillow.
I have a pillow right here. You can probably hear that too.
Yeah. The mics do pick up everything.
They do.
They do. They're good mics.
They're really good for like the deal we got them for too.
Yeah, they were
Heck yeah.
A really good deal. Did you, speaking of, did you hear the loud banging in the back when I muted myself earlier and was gone for 5 minutes? Because that happens. My child decided to fall and make the loudest banging noise because she took everything with her on her fall. So scared the crap out of me. So if you did ask me a question and I didn't answer, that's why. I was gone for a minute. But I'm back now. Everything's fine.
Well, that's good. I'm glad she's okay.
I feel that as a child, I was the clumsiest kid you would ever meet.
You know, I was like, I used to scare my mom so bad. She would tell me that I would like pile stuff up on the rocking chair and I would get on the very top of it. I'd have like pillows and a stool and any like stuff I could stand on top of the rocking chair. And I would be up on top of it. And I pretended like I was surfing and it would scare the crap out of her. I did it all the time.
We would take the laundry baskets and use them as slides for the stairs.
I would die. I would my heart would literally come out of my chest if one of my children did that, because my oldest daughter fell downstairs once when she was like 3 and I was behind her holding a laundry basket and like saw it happening, and I never ever let her walk downstairs again without someone in front of her. It was awful. I mean, she was fine. Like it didn't hurt her at all, but she only fell like 3 stairs. But man, did I think I was like mortified the whole time.
Yeah, my mom walks into the room and like me and my sister are taking turns using the laundry basket to turn the stairs into a slide. And she did not think that we were that smart.
It worked. It worked for the most part, like halfway, and then you would tumble down the rest of the way. But it worked. But I mean, I probably wouldn't let my kid do that nowadays, especially the stairs we got. They're a little steep.
But I'm surprised I'm alive a lot of the times when I think back of the stuff I did as a child. Like, we used to climb the roof and slide off in our sleeping bags.
Oh my gosh.
And now when I think about doing stuff like that, I'm like, why were we so stupid?
I can see your point. I mean, we were the kids that we took my friend's trampoline, it was the friend that his parents were never home. We moved the trampoline onto the deck, and he just so happened to live next door to a nunnery. So there was lots of nuns next door, but we were taking turns jumping off his roof onto the trampoline. The nuns called the cops on us, saying that there are a bunch of kids jumping off the roof onto the trampoline. We heard them screaming that they called the cops on us, that we moved the trampoline all the way down into the field, that when the cop got there, he was like, there's no way you guys are jumping off the roof onto the trampoline over there. We're like, we don't know what you're talking about. Like, they just don't like us. They're a bunch of nuns. They don't like us. And then we moved it back after he left. So
we did some crazy stuff. That's a crazy one. I'm telling you, like Snoop said it well. How did we survive the 80s? All of our toys were sharp and metal. There wasn't anything to do. The only thing to do, because we didn't have technology, was to risk our lives over and over and over again. And that's what we did constantly. And then it probably maybe 10 or 11, it was time to start hanging out with the skater boys. And I mean, flying around on concrete. It's so dangerous, but you know, we had a ton of fun doing it. And looking back, I'm like, I'd never let my kid do that. She needs a bubble, and there's no way. I'm going to have to wrap her up, and she needs a helmet and knee pads and elbow pads and just nothing on wheels. And you know, my daughter broke her arm on her bike, so that's hard enough. But yeah, we like the 80s and 90s growing up, we were really crazy. These kids nowadays, they can't hang. They don't know.
Yeah. And Leanne says, have you seen the car seats from the 80s?
What car seats is the question.
They weren't car seats.
They were car seats. Like the ones that hung over the back. Okay, so cars back then had bench seats in the front, not bucket seats. So you sat all the way across. You ever watch that 70s show? The ones that were just like, they just hung over the back of the seat. And you just like set the baby in it like it was a bag. And then those were funny. The Wonder Chair ones were sharp and metal and interesting. No seatbelts, no restraints, like nothing. I mean, it was. My mother told me that all 4 of her children came home, and she held them in her arms. There was no car seat at all. So,
and you know, I think that's why cars are so much bigger now, because even if you just have 2 children, they're in car seats till they're like 14 now.
Tell me about it. I actually had one of those fancy moms get mad at me one day because when my oldest one was 6 years old, she was out of a car seat at like 5 because I was like, why does she need to be in a car seat? And I didn't realize that there's a law that you're supposed to be like 4'9", or I think it's 4 feet 9 before you're supposed to be out of a car seat. That is a 12-year-old child. No kidding. So
my older sister is almost 40, and she is only like a couple inches taller than that.
Yeah.
Right.
That's crazy.
I know there are adults that are that tall, but that's how long you're supposed to be in a car seat. And one of the suburb moms got on to me once because my oldest one was not in a car seat. And we had like a booster seat for her, and just put her seatbelt's too close to her neck and she's gonna die, and just craziness. And I was like, okay, thank you. I'm good.
Wow. Yeah. That's Knuckles' girlfriend's 4'9", I want to say, because I'm 5 foot, and I remember him saying she's like 4'9".
Do you remember sitting with each other on each other's laps whenever they would load a car full of kids when you were little?
Yeah,
I did that with my friends.
Probably 8 people in a car driving
or
around.
in a station wagon, and 2 of the kids are in the back part where you're not even supposed to be sitting.
Yep. Yeah, in the trunk. I've
Yes.
sat in the trunk so many times. And in the back of a pickup truck, it is the South. So lots of times in the back of a pickup truck going home,
And being super excited when you got to do that. They'd be like, all right, you kids get in the back. And you're like, yes.
Yeah. Yeah. Where I live, it still
has
happens,
yours.
by the way. It's supposed to be illegal. But, oh, yeah. It has your picture. Stacy
That's kind of funny.
It's
I wonder
supposed to
if
be
your
illegal
picture is
there, but
mine.
we still do it.
Yeah, I was that person that stacked my friends in my Blazer and we went on a road trip. No, there's 2 Stacys. Look at that.
Will it let you edit your
Because you know what happened? I tried to stop my camera the other time. Yeah, I can edit my avatar. And we must be both on the Sunshinery account. So I stopped it and it let me back in the room and I'm surprised it still has my name as Jackie Sunshine. But
yeah, we found out the other day on accident that we can all 3 be signed in as Sunshinery at the same time.
So if you use StreamYards, yeah. Well, so that was, KJ Saga. I mean,
You've
the only
gone in
other
there.
thing.
Knuckles, there's already almost 2 Stacys, though, because my twin's already here.
Yeah.
That's right.
So that was KJ's drama, except she had another drama this week that's very short. We all know and heard her say in an Instagram live, and if you don't, I have the clip, but she says that she took a screenshot of Josh when he was in the hearing, and that is against the federal law and the court system. And there was also tweets that were from Nikki Hollywood, which I do have, that said that the court knows about it. People have reported her and that the court's not happy and they will be looking into this. So KJ, stop taking screenshots when you're not allowed. Even if you don't share it, the judge said no screenshots allowed at all, whether you share it or not. So that's the end of my KJ saga this week.
She's such a nightmare. She really she really needs to be deplatformed. And I don't say that lightly because I truly don't believe
You're like
in
me.
that.
You don't want anyone deplatformed.
Well, yeah, I mean, I believe in free speech and whatever, but I also believe that there are things that are way off limits. So there are people who have been deplatformed who needed to be. And I stand behind that. But with Katie, really is a lot more dangerous than people truly understand her to be. I'm in another Discord. I'll just say whose Discord it is. I'm in the Fundy Fridays Discord, the Genonites, and people in that Discord were asked, still every day, someone in that Discord comes in and asks, hey, who is this Katie Joy person that's without a crystal ball? Anybody ever watch her? Does what she have to say about the Duggars, and is it any good? And people are like, no, don't talk about it, leave her alone, don't watch her. There's people who are like, we don't want to talk about it. It's just amazing to me. I mean, I can't believe it's amazing to me. She has 140,000 subscribers. So yeah, there's billions of people who don't know who she is, but it just kind of keeps going. And it's really, she's just so dangerous. You guys
right
know
now,
she has no boundaries.
No, she doesn't. Right now, she's tweeting about Emily Baker. Leave Emily alone.
Yeah, so she just tweeted something false again. And she tweeted that Emily Baker support, or I don't know, she said something about the Breonna Taylor situation and how Emily was whatever. And we all know that Katie took one clip of that and didn't watch the entire thing. And Emily has spoken about that and said what she had to say. And all the evidence backs what Emily is saying. I hate to say it, I think it was a horrible thing to happen too, but so does Emily. And Katie misconstrued her words. like
Well,
a lot of people do.
did.
Right.
Yeah.
And Katie ran with it. And she, like, I find what Katie is doing right now with about bringing that back up, that is Katie having aggressive racism. Like, for
Yes.
her to try and make someone else feel bad about something that's not true, and she's virtue signaling. She's trying to say, like, well, don't forget, she's a racist. Remember,
Yep.
she doesn't like the situation. Like, why are you? Breonna Taylor's family does not want to hear you do that. She doesn't.
Yeah.
Did you see what Mrs. Care tweeted out a comment, I guess, or reply she made to someone? It looks like an Instagram reply. But it's someone who apparently follows her, but she said, I only wish that a trigger warning was attached simply because those of us who were SA'd as children and adults too, when you're not expecting to see this at the top of your news feed, it's enough to give you an anxiety attack. I'm not taking away from your reporting what you do or taking away from what the victims went through. I'm slowly learning to see Josh Duggar and just skip the post, but sometimes I forget, like right now. And she replied back to this person with, I'm sorry if you can't handle it, don't follow.
And that was because she shared the
we don't have to talk about it. Yeah, we don't have to.
Yeah. Like,
Well,
I think she could have said, I know what he downloaded and it's not good, but you didn't have to share everything about the download, because the second I clicked on the link, it was so disturbing. So if you guys see that post, don't click on the link, because
don't even read the post. Don't even,
yeah.
If you follow Katie right now, my suggestion to you for your mental health, for your sanity, is to go unfollow that dumb bitch right now. Like, she is, and I'm sorry if that offends someone, but like, what she is saying on Twitter right now is disgusting. And she should be deplatformed. Her Twitter account should be suspended for what she is saying. Plain and simple. And I don't want to, I didn't want to talk about it tonight, but since we're talking about it, I do have two things to say about that. Number one, to tell someone who says this is triggering, and there's hundreds of people who are telling her it's triggering, and it is. But to tell someone if it's triggering, then you can unfollow. You should. And what one of her responses was, you should be triggered by this because this is horrible. This should make you uncomfortable. That is the most tone deaf, dumbass thing that woman could possibly say at this very moment. How dare you tell a survivor they should feel uncomfortable and that they should have to be subjected to that kind of language? And it's disgusting. Like, how dare you, Katie? What that makes me feel is that she's never been a victim. It makes me wonder if her claims are false. Because
I agree.
If she were truly a victim, she would not be doing that right now. And I know that. I know that for a fact. I know it.
Exactly.
And I'm not, I guess you guys don't need to know. You guys, I don't have to say it out loud how I know that. But I know that. I have had a mentally trying week because of her, because of what I read on those tweets. And I'm telling you now, it is like, my second part to this is, if you know someone who is suffering for any reason whatsoever, just be there. Don't make them feel bad. Don't try to talk them out of what they're doing. Just be there for them. Let them feel safe to come back to you. Katie breeds hate, and we need a lot less of that in the world right now.
Well, and I just want to say, like, everyone should just point back to this every time she posts another thing about victims. If you want to come forward to me, I'd love to help you tell your story. I'd love to get you help. Or as she likes to say, you know, if you want to leave this cult, come tell me your story. I'm here to help you. Refer back to this, because this is an actual victim who reached out to her to let her know, like, you could put trigger warnings on this. That's not even something that takes a lot of time to do.
Yeah.
Minimal time required to do that. And her response was, just don't follow.
2 seconds. That's all it took.
The last thing that any victim would ever do is let Katie Joy tell their story. There's no way. And, and if you there's a lot of people who do it well, who do it the right way on the internet.
Yeah.
You can go get all of the news and tea that you want from those people, like Jen from Fundy Fridays, who absolutely will put trigger warnings at the front. She'll say it twice if she needs to. She doesn't stand for anything, any garbage at all. And she's so very intelligent and kind about the way that she says it. We don't need Katie's in the world. Katie needs to work on herself. She needs to get better. She's the problem.
She is the problem. Exactly.
And there's tons of documentaries and little people with little YouTube channels and podcasts who have been in these worlds that have left. If you want to find out what it's really like, don't take it from a third-hand source. Go straight to to someone who's there and lived it.
Yep, I agree there, because she definitely doesn't know their story. And I agree with words have power. She's trying to make money. She will manipulate you. I'll do the best for you. I'll tell your story the right way. She only wants the money. She only wants the clout. She only wants the fame. That is what she's about. And she will overdo that to the max.
This might be controversial for me to say. I feel like I say that a lot on our live stream. Sorry.
I say respectfully a lot, so it's okay.
I feel like I'm always like, hey, you guys are not going to want to hear this, but I'm going to tell you like it is anyway. My point
Hey, you got this shirt to prove it now.
Yeah. I feel like none of Katie's stories are true. And because the more that I get to know about her and the more I've seen all these things, I just don't believe them. I don't believe that and maybe that's ignorant of me to say, but I think that she claims to be part of the Alphabet Mafia for money.
She's got a new rainbow fish hanging up outside her house, so y'all need to watch it. She's clearly an ally.
Someone is definitely going to destroy that rainbow fish, and then she's going to cry about it on stream. Watch out.
Yeah, it's a ploy.
That person is definitely going to be a Trump-supporting redneck.
Or her husband.
Yes, she's 100% not. She's not going to make it like a normal thing. It's going to be the most outrageous story. It's going to be like, I saw this guy at a Trump rally 6 years ago, and now he's at my front door and he's destroying my fish. Whatever.
And it's going to be after spending a year in the elements, because they don't take their stuff inside when there's snow and sleet. They just leave it out, the flag. It fell apart because you're not supposed to leave that stuff out. That's why people tell you in bad weather to take your flags down, you a-hole.
Yeah.
I mean, listen, everyone knows that fabric fades in the sun. And my little old lady neighbors that plant fake flowers in their front yard, those flowers fade, y'all, after a week. So and it's true.
Yes.
They actually do that. Her flag is just... It faded. I mean, it was in the sun. It was like you said, it was in the elements, in the weather. That's normal. So that whole thing was crazy. And as an actual ally of the Alphabet Mafia, I truly believe that she made that up because I can spot them,
Yeah.
They're all my friends. So...
At one time, there was a person that was around YouTube that had that as their username, and it would crack me up every time I'd see them in someone's chat. It was KJ's Torn Pride Flag or something was their username.
Yes, I remember
that.
them.
Man, that was a good one. I see a bunch of names, and I'm like...
Katie asked if it's the Jesus rainbow fish. I didn't see a picture of it, so...
What were you saying?
Oh, I was just saying I wish that I would think of cool names like that. But yeah, I saw that about I saw Katie's comment, And I bet you, wouldn't it be funny if it is the Jesus fish? Because the rainbow is significant in the Bible. Wouldn't it be hilarious if she was like, oh, this is for my pride, and it was like the Jesus fish? I would die.
She makes a joke about that, actually.
Oh, gosh. Of course.
Oh, well, I'm sure it's not funny because I've never seen anything funny.
I agree with you. I think half of her stories are made up just for the internet, just for clout, just for all of that. So, sorry.
Including.
I've got it.
I'm not touching it. I'm not touching it.
So, this is the rainbow fish. And caption says, what I love about my husband, he accepts me for who I am. He accepts my sexuality and never makes me feel bad. Being bisexual views people. Yes, I'm attracted to both men and women. Yeah, I married a man. He's my person. He put this flag hanging out of rainbow fish. I found it on my phone because they sign on their cars. It's a sign of Jesus. This is a symbol used for Jesus Christ. I realize it's not just for fundies, but I know it's connected to them. My super gay fish flag is now on my fundy repellent. My anagram for accepting all people, no matter who they love.
Stace, you were breaking up really bad. You sounded like a robot.
Yeah, we couldn't really hear it. But we did hear part of it where she was like, basically trying to make a dig at Christians. That's a windsock, you guys. Like, what the hell is she doing with that?
Yeah.
Am I still breaking up?
No, you're better now. It was like only when you shared your screen. That was very weird.
But yeah, that was her fish that she was so proud about.
Oh, she could be proud about it. It's a fish. It's a
also
ornament.
It's something that comes from like the dollar store, and she's like, my husband is so great to me.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't wait for my husband to go to the Dollar General if I want to win sock. I'll just stop by and grab one myself. There's 15 of them by my house.
Right. And listen, the Alphabet Mafia, they have taste. They're great decorators. I'm telling all my friends have beautiful houses. They would not hang that ugly piece of shit outside their house. I'm saying they just wouldn't. Even if it is a rainbow, it's not the right rainbow. Just because it's like rainbow colors, it's not in the order. It's not. That's
something 4-year-old me would have picked out to give my mom for like Mother's Day or something, because I would have been like, it's pretty. Look at the colors.
Right. Yeah.
And then my mom would have been like, I can stick it in the backyard and no one will see it.
Yeah. Well,
my mom had a backyard Christmas tree. It was in the back room of the house. Like, oh, thank you for all of these ornaments you made at school that are shaped like your hand, and all the cute crafts. They went on a separate tree.
Yeah. Like, my mom wasn't putting that stuff up either, but she couldn't like hurt our feelings. So like, if we got her ugly yard stuff and everything, it went in the backyard. But we didn't know that. We just thought that was where her garden was, so she wanted it out there.
But yeah.
Oh, Truffle, your family had that windsock?
Oh.
Is it representative of something particular? Or was it just pretty?
I think it's just pretty. That's KJ, though, for you. She'll make something out of nothing. That's what she does best. And I think why she's going after Emily right now was the whole picture taking. Nikki Hollywood made a comment on Twitter about how the court knows and all that. And Emily did respond to Nikki's tweet saying, this court made it very clear that there was not to be any information shared until after the hearings, and you cannot record in any fashion or take a photograph. It is actually a big deal. There are rules in federal courts. The rules of the federal courts don't play. So maybe she's mad that, Emily just laid down the law and she's trying to protect herself. I know KJ kind of said too, well, I said it was a mental photo. No, you clearly said you took a screenshot for your records, for your mental.
Is this heifer trying to pretend like she's got a photographic memory? She really said that it was a mental photo.
Yeah. We know you took a screenshot. You said it. Come on. You're going to get in trouble. And if I were the court, I wouldn't let her in on any more of those conferences or Zoom calls or any of that. So
I have seen people talking, though, saying that she got kicked out of the thing, and I have not seen any proof of that at all.
No, she did say she got kicked out twice during the last hearing. She said it herself, but she got back on.
Yeah, I'm saying, like, I don't think, like, they're saying she got kicked out as in, like, she got banned from getting on. Like, I don't think that's not what happened.
No.
They were having connectivity issues from the beginning.
Yep. That's
probably because as many people as possible that could sign on were probably trying to sign on to this case.
Yeah. Well, LB did a really good stream about it. She said there was like 75 people there, which they have, I think the limit is like 100 or 200. I'm not sure what the limit is for the federal. Because I know KJ's, there was like 250 that were allowed in her call. But a Zoom thing is different. And she went over, if you didn't see LB's about the breakdown of Josh's case, it's actually really good. She took really good notes and she went from the start to the finish of everything that was said and how it went down. And she even said, like, you know, there goes everything.
You okay? Did those lights break?
It was the microphone hit the light and the light went down and then took half of my nightstand with it. So it was just all, you know, the little gadgets on my nightstand. But anyways, LB said, though, in hers that she connected from her son's phone and her laptop just in case they had issues and she had gotten kicked out. That's the smart thing to do, especially when you know that they've had issues already. So, I mean, but her stream was really good. She broke down the case and everything that was said very well. And
there was a Redditor who's a law student who broke it down in real time.
Oh.
So I was just reading her updates as they were coming in.
They weren't supposed to do that. Shh.
Yeah, she actually was allowed to do that because she only did it during times of recess. She didn't share anything.
That's good.
Yeah,
yep.
She knew what she was doing. I'm just saying I got to watch it in real time, and I liked that, or read it in real time.
Yeah.
What were the reports like? Did anyone say that there were maxing out people that were trying to get into the, like, to log on to it, or how many did they let in?
There were, well, LB said there were 75 people in there. That's what she had reported.
I know that she said there were some like major news people watching it. Like she said, like Access Hollywood and people like that were on there.
Yep. Entertainment Tonight. What else did she say? She said The Sun, I think, was in there as well, which of course we know that, but.
And I know I shouldn't laugh, but y'all, those the court drawings,
they were horrible.
And I'm telling you, I have no artistic ability whatsoever. I can't even draw a straight line on my own face with an eyeliner pencil. But
same here.
Those were something else.
Yeah, they were pretty bad. They could have got a better artist. I don't know who did that, but they clearly.
Well, and I heard that it could be more difficult for them to do it because it's over Zoom, so you don't have a really clear shot of the person's face, and they had to hurry up and put it out. But I'm just like, because it was two different artists, I believe.
Oh, well, they kind of looked very much the same between the two artists, though.
Yeah.
Let me let my cat out. You want to leave? But anyways, so yeah, I mean, so that
you're gonna let her out, and she's just gonna want right back in.
Yeah, I cracked the door just enough so that way she can leave and come back at her own free will because her food is in here.
At any point, y'all are gonna hear one of mine come to the door and just meow at the top of her lungs until I let her in.
So that was Josh's court hearing was Wednesday. So a lot of people have covered the case and everything going on. I mean, it's a big thing. It's a horrible thing. And the other thing with the Josh Duggar news is the Anna story that came out on Thursday, where supposedly, because these are Jim Bob's words, so Jim Bob reported that Anna is in denial and at war with them, and that she believes she's standing by her husband, and that she cut herself off from the rest of the family. Jim Bob said that she believes that this is all a conspiracy theory against a case against Josh from the Biden administration. And she believes that Trump, if he was still in power, that this would not happen. And I know Jim Bob is the one saying this, and I hope that Anna doesn't believe this, but this is something I can see her believing because she's kind of been in that brainwashed fashion with the Duggars. But I don't see how any of that is connected.
And see, I don't know that I want to know who their source was that Jim Bob said this stuff, because Jim Bob's not saying anything to anyone that might run with this story right now.
Exactly. They've made one statement, so how is he saying these things? And then
they've been trying to sweep Josh's behavior under the rug since forever. Yeah. He's not just going out and being like, well, I just need someone to talk to. You'll do. And just opening up his heart like, well, Anna hates me for this. And she thinks that it's, he's not out there saying that to nobody. Who is their source? Yeah. Unless they've got the house wiretapped, I doubt anybody is talking to Jim Bob that's going to be telling the Sun what's going on.
And later, even in the Sun article, they were like, we asked Jim Bob for comments and he didn't give us any. So he made these comments about Anna, but then he's not going to give you any comments about how he feels about the case. I don't think so. That's why I was like, how do we know? I just don't believe it. And the Sun has put out stuff that they've lied about. So
yeah, but Leanne, Katie ran with it and did her own video, and it was basically like, I just saw the title. I didn't, again, because I don't watch her stuff, but the title was basically like the same exact title from the article.
Yeah. It was word for word the article with her little, her things that she thinks are humorous in there that aren't very funny at all. And it was like literally you read the article as you did the stream. That is what you did.
Well, Arkansas doesn't really care about the kids, because I know this got brought up before about them not being paid. And it's like, how can they work and not be paid? Well, in Arkansas, if you're working for your family business, you don't have to be a certain age, and they don't have to pay you or pay you minimum wage. And that's a law that's put in place because we have farmers here.
Yeah.
But it doesn't say if you're a farming child. It just says if it's a family-run business. So that's how they get away with using it for anything.
Yeah. Well, the other bad news was then we found out too, he got released on bond. And he's not going home to the family. A lot of YouTubers have covered this, but he is not going home to the family. He's going to the third-party custodians. And even the husband and the lady that he's staying with, the lady said to the probation officer that she's scared to be around him during the long durations of time that her husband's not going to be home when he's working. So I kind of feel bad for that family that they are even, when we found out he could even have a bond, we were like, where is he going to go? Who is he going to stay with?
And the fact that he has, unlimited access to his children as long as Anna's there.
Yeah. The custodian is also supposed to be present when the kids are there. That's what they're saying. But I don't know. I just don't think he should have. Like I said, I feel bad for the kids because they don't know anything right now. They just want to see their father. but we don't know too if he has done anything to his own kids.
I was gonna say at that point, my mom would not have taken me to see my father.
Yeah.
That would be completely done. And as you got older and you found out what your dad had done, I would be glad that as a child I was not being taken over to see my father.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I don't feel right about this. I don't think he should have been let out.
Yeah, he's not allowed to have internet access either, Leanne. And he's not allowed to even ask for the password, even though I think they said the couple's still like on DSL dial-up or something.
Yeah, they have dial-up still. They have dial-up, which I knew I couldn't hide getting on the internet for my mom and dad when we had dial-up, so it's going to be hard.
He's allowed to have a jitterbug phone, which makes me think of that commercial every time I hear it with the old person and like the keys are really large so that they can see the numbers when they're typing. And
that's going to be hard for him to text on.
I don't think jitterbug text. It's just for him to be able to reach his probation officer.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
no texting on those at all. It's just purely a phone.
I'm good. He doesn't. I don't think he should have access to it.
Like it's a phone meant for people that don't know how to use a phone, other than as a phone.
Oh yeah, I can see that. No, he can't be around minors except for his own children when Anna's there, so he can't see any of his siblings, as they would say it. He has to have an ankle monitor, and the family that he's staying with, the daughter does piano lessons at their house, and now she can't do the piano lessons at the house because he's going to be there. And I feel bad for that because that's obviously a way that their daughter makes income is piano lessons.
At what point are we going to see the Duggars sell this family a house for $1 is what I want to know.
Definitely going to happen. Something's going to happen. They're definitely getting paid, even though it's not said that
they never have to go buy their own car again. They just keep getting newer used ones. It's weird.
Yeah. So, when I forgot when his next court date is. I think it's in 2 weeks. But all we can do is pray for the victims and pray for his children and hope Anna sees the light and gets away. That's all I can say. And as we learn more information, we'll update you, of course, because we've been covering this as well as other YouTubers have. But yeah, that was the Josh Duggar and Anna kind of.
So thing. It looks like July 6th.
July 6th. Okay,
wow, that's a long time from now. That's like 2 months.
Yeah.
We'll be able to watch the coverage as we recover from our July 4th hangovers.
Yeah. I know a lot of people are upset that he was granted bail. But just remember, like, he's gonna get it in the end. Like and even if our legal system doesn't make it happen, he's definitely, karma's gonna come around. And if you believe in hell, that's where he's going. So it's, I think that anybody would want bail, any criminal, anyone who as much of a monster as he is, if he's guilty of all of this stuff, like I do the same thing. I want to be out on bail too. So, and it's not like they wouldn't deny bail unless the person was a risk, like a flight risk, which he's not, I guess. And then like there's certain criteria that they have to have, and that just
but how is he not a flight risk? See, that's the one thing that got me. It's like he has two brothers that have their pilot's license and they have private planes.
Yeah, they're single engine, so they can't go. Yeah,
he can't go to a country that doesn't extradite. It's not like he can disappear in the Congo.
Because I was gonna say, like,
single engine can fly like from the top of Florida to the bottom, maybe. And that's it.
Because I was going to say, like, they got their license. He can easily jump on a private plane with one of them. Like, that didn't make sense to me flight risk-wise, but you explained it very well. So
actually,
and you got to think, like, I don't know about y'all, but there's no way I would go to prison to help my predator brother escape.
Right. And I don't think any of them are willing to do that. I mean, I could be wrong, but because they might be so indoctrinated that they don't, they don't believe it. But Knuckles, you're right. Like, if he is actually convicted, he will not be in a general population. He will be held in an area with other criminals that have committed the same type of crime. And since we're not going to say it, and that is to keep him alive and for protection. And then, in the other part of the prison, there's all the people who were in there for, weed, serving 15-year sentences. So he's going to have it. Unfortunately, I mean, he's not going to have it cushy, but he's definitely not going to be in a place where he's going to be in danger.
Yeah.
So actually, he lives around a more diverse area in Arkansas, which I know still isn't saying much. So his church community might be rallying around him, but the majority of the town where he's at, they don't like that family. They're not big, huge fans of the Duggars.
I've seen that. I've seen a lot of people posting on TikTok about certain reasons they're not big fans of the Duggars in Arkansas, especially in that area, just because of like Arkansas laws, things that they've taken advantage of, the way that they're living off of the government.
The robocalls.
Yeah, the robocalls are a big one. So yeah, there's actually a lot of information out there. If you're interested in it, you can find it on TikTok. And then again, I know I've already brought her up probably twice, but today, Jen from Fundy Fridays did a video, and she does talk about his probable incarceration and what it would look like. And it's actually a really intelligent conversation. So I suggest you check that video out.
Awesome. We'll put it in the description as well.
Yeah, because like they have a church that they kind of go to and stuff. And that community, yes, they're absolutely going to rally against him because they don't see this as a legal problem. They see it as a moral problem. But the rest of the community, not big fans.
Yeah. And he can only go through so many towns or through one county too, like with this probation that he's on. Like, he's allowed to, if he gets permission in advance from the court, he's allowed to go to church if church is on and all of that too.
Well, and see, that was also funny because he's still not allowed to be around other children. So he's allowed to go to his church, but he has to be able to ensure that there is not a child. And so I'm like, there's no way you could ensure that, because at any time growing up where, I grew up in the South, obviously, because I'm in Arkansas. At any time you can see someone show up at church to do something or to clean a room, and they're going to have one or two of their kids with them.
Especially where they believe to multiply and multiply and multiply.
The quiver full.
Yeah.
We need a quiver full of kids.
Yeah. So, yeah. We'll see what happens there. I know you said something happened this week with... Well, you go. Tell a story for us.
Well, I know the Jeffree Star, the single pants.
Yes.
And
speaking of makeup.
Yeah. The Jeffree Star single pants came out, and a lot of people are making fun of them because they're $10 a piece. And if you were to buy, like, I guess 6 of them, you could actually just rebuy a whole pallet. And so a lot of people are just kind of laughing at the price. But, we talked about this earlier too, whenever I mentioned it. I know I've paid more than that to replace one color from an Urban Decay palette that I liked. I've paid more than that to replace one color from a Too Faced palette that I liked.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, me too. And I have like a lot of Jeffree Star makeup, a ton of it. And there are very specific colors in the palettes that people love. Like, you'll get a palette, there's probably 10 colors in it that you'll never use. And then there are some that you'll hit pan, you will scrape out every corner of it. And there's a lot of people that do that. Even he does it. Like if you watch any of his old videos, he'll hold up like the blood sugar palette, and the white that's in the blood sugar palette, he used it all the way down to I think it's called glucose, all the way down to the pan. It happens. So I think there's people who are going to be really excited that he's got these single shadows available instead of having to rebuy a palette that they already have all the other colors in, because they're not going to buy 6 of them. They're probably going to want 1 or 2. And that's kind of worth it, I think.
Yeah, I agree. I'm that type that if I know the colors that I like, I'm going to buy those certain colors. Where maybe I'm not going to want a whole palette and only get 3 colors that I like in the palette when I can buy the 3 colors for the same price. But I do sometimes use the other colors in the palette when I wear something and I'm like, oh, I do have this color in a palette. I can kind of match. I'm very much someone that has to coordinate with colors and makeup. That is my big OCD.
And I really like my browns and golds. I have just about every brown and gold, and I can't tell you, I have paid upwards to $20 to replace one specific color, brown gold, that it's my favorite.
Yes, and ColourPop does have a Sailor Moon palette. That is one of the palettes that me and Stacy were looking at that I almost bought that night when we were shopping for palettes for me. Well, for both of us, because we both bought them.
Do you have the Mandalorian palette from ColourPop? That one's really good. I love it.
I have the limoncello and the wine only.
I kind of like the Baby Yoda palette, I'm not going to lie.
Yes, so did I.
Yes.
I want the Hello Kitty ones, but those are always sold out. The other one was the astrological sign palettes. What was the one that had the maroons? That one was sold out.
Okay, that one really confused me though, because I don't know how they picked the colors for the zodiacs, because they don't coordinate with the actual colors of the zodiac signs.
That one confused me too, and it would make more sense. Like, I'm a Taurus. My birthday is on Mother's Day, everyone. So this is my birthday weekend. And Tauruses are green, but the palette was like blue or purple, and I was like, I'd buy the palette because I like those colors, but I'm not a green person, and I wouldn't buy my palette if it was green. But I think they should have gone with the color of your astrological sign. It makes sense that way. But
I want to say it was Cancer, blue or something, and I'm trying to and it's the Cancer, it's ruby.
Yep. They had them all matched. It was just like they decided, okay, your birthday is this month, what's your favorite color? Your birthday is this month, what's your favorite color? And they went around the office and they picked out the people.
They made all these palettes up, and they're like, dang, we don't have anything to name them. Let's just stab some zodiac stickers on them and send them out.
Yeah.
That's kind of their thing. I've never seen a company turn out palettes the way that ColourPop turns them out. I mean, it's like every 10 days they have, and then once it's there, a lot of them you can never get them back. You have to buy it right away, and then it never comes back, which also drives me crazy about ColourPop. So I don't buy as many of their palettes as I would if they were available all the time, because I'm just not into the panic buying. If I don't need makeup, I'm probably not going to buy it at that moment.
What was the one that I was driving around to locations to see if I could find for you guys?
That would be Hocus Pocus, and I'm so mad that one never came back, and I did not get my hands on it.
Yeah,
I swear, I even had my mom driving around to locations for you guys on our lunch break. I was like, go check the Ulta across town.
We wanted that Hocus Pocus palette so bad, and we could probably find it on eBay now, but
it's probably $200 and
no thanks. I wanted it then,
But this lipstick I bought, it was really expensive for a little tube of lipstick, and I got it just because it's the limited edition I Love Lucy.
Yeah, I get it.
So I paid a
would
lot
pay
of money just so that I could look like I'm wearing Lucy's lipstick.
Well, you look like you have her lipstick on. It's very red, like I said. I love it. You are a red person. I don't know if I could pull off the red like you can. But I would pay money for the Hello Kitty just because I'm a Hello Kitty fan, and I'd probably not touch the palette if I bought it, though. It'd be very tempting not to use it, but I'm the type that collects weird things, and that would be me just to collect it, not to use it. I'd have to buy 2.
Red just ends up being my prescription glasses are bright red. Like red is my little color. I love it.
There you go. It looks good on you.
Oh, thank you, Leanne.
Jeffree Star. He has new palettes out, or new colors too for the palettes. But hey, let him do his thing. Another big thing that happened this week was Keemstar reported that H3 was getting sued by Thriller. Now, we had talked about the Thriller incident where people illegally streamed the Jake Paul Ben Askren fight and how they're going to start lawsuits. Well, Keemstar did this tweet where it says, "Ladies and gentlemen, we got him." He's all excited that Thriller has added now H3 podcast website into the lawsuit that they're filing. And it's saying that he illegally pirated the fight as well. And he also made a video, and I mean, it was Keemstar was excited when he found out that H3 was going down for this whole pirating the fight thing, and he couldn't wait to tell the world. I'll tell you that. This is the article that was written with it, and it makes no sense. And this is something that, so H3 did their After Dark podcast tonight about it, and he even said, if it's a civil lawsuit, why does it say that he can have criminal fines and up to 5 years in jail? It's a civil suit. You don't go to jail for civil suits. Just like KJ won't go to jail for defamation. It's a civil suit.
That's what it used to say before every movie on VHS tapes, remember?
Yep. It just, I don't know where he got this article.
But I watched the stream where he supposedly said that he streamed. It seemed to me like he never said that he restreamed it for other people. No, and it was almost said as a joke.
He did say it as a joke, and he said, so in his in the podcast tonight, he said, yes, they are getting sued. He had found out through an article, but they added into it, and he thinks it was done out of spite because he said that he pirated the fight to watch it. But when he showed the clip, which was a 45-second clip, it was done out of fair use. He had gotten it from somewhere, like a news article or something, and it was 45 seconds of just Jake knocking Ben out. And it was fair use, and it wasn't done during the fight. It wasn't aired at the same time the fight was happening. It was done like a day or two after the fight. So he really thinks he hasn't gotten it physically in his hands that he's been served. But he says that he is getting sued, and he's waiting to find out for more information. And if he can, he's going to try and settle it during mediation because he doesn't want to have to go to court and deal with all this baloney crap. So he is getting sued. But Keemstar is pretty damn excited about it. I actually have the clip where this is actually a really funny clip of Keemstar.
See, I don't even like it when those two talk about each other because they always try to paint each other in the worst lights anyway because we know they hate each other.
Yes, I agree. And it gets crazy. This is Keem's little rant real quick that he did. It's not that long. Let me play it for you. So this was done right after he did the tweet. Ladies and gentlemen, we got him.
I can't hear that. Do you guys hear it?
No, can't hear it.
Let me see. Okay. I'm going to share it as a video file. Maybe that will work. We're still figuring this stuff out. Usually it asks me if I want to share my audio, and it didn't do it this time. So that's probably why. Let's share a video file. Oh, look at that. I just learned something new, guys. This might be easier for everybody in the long run. Here we go. Open. Add to stream.
News came out that Triller is going to sue H3, and he could potentially get charged criminally and be facing 5 years in prison. And a person responded to me, and they said, how could you be gloating? How could you be so happy about this? He has a kid. His kid could grow up without a parent if he was jailed for like 5 years or whatever. And that's stuck in my mind. This tweet came out last night. I can't stop thinking about it. Because it's like this moral dilemma that I have. Like, yeah, it's kind of messed up that, I would have that line of thinking, but y'all know what I've been through with this guy? Does anyone know what I've been through with this guy? I mean, just last week, Ethan was saying that I killed another creator, that I need to be deplatformed on every platform, and that I need to have my kid taken away from me. I shouldn't have a daughter. This is just last week, so, man, when you say, I shouldn't be gloating because this horrible thing could happen to Ethan, it's kind of hard not to. It is actually really hard not to. I've been dealing with slander and lies, and, there's a bit of truth in the stories that he's talking about, and then he misrepresents a whole section to make it as worse as possible and to just change the entire meaning of that story so it sends as much hate on me as possible. This guy has never given any respect to the facts, reality. He made a 3-part content nuke on me. All BS. Every single video, something was wrong. Lies, manipulation, right? Send an unbelievable amount of hate at me. I lost my sponsors. He lost sponsors because my fans were going after his sponsors. I told everyone not to do this, but they did it anyways. And I reached out to Ethan Klein on 2 separate occasions trying to offer peace with him, trying to put the community first before our little beef. I reached out to him. I was like, listen, we got to stop this stuff. Ignores me. I tried to box him man to man. Let's settle this. Ignores me. So it's I am at the point where this guy's literally trying to ruin my life, trying to ruin my children's life. What do I do?
Yeah. I don't know how much I believe Keemstar. I can say that right now because not that I like H3, but Ethan does say stuff that necessarily is not true as well about Keemstar. And Jess just gave us an update saying that H3, and Ethan were dismissed from the lawsuit because Thriller cannot prove they belong in the suit. Exactly. Because like I said, he had watched it. He said he pirated it and watched it that way, but he did not pirate it to show the clip a day later. So,
well, and they were just talking about how everyone had pirated it. So, I really took it as a joke.
So did I. I thought he was joking as well when he said it. I mean, I'm not gonna say that I didn't do it because I did. But
I lit some incense, so I think I might have to turn my camera off if the smoke gets too bad.
No, I can't see anything. You're good. Hasn't started right, but I mean, they're gonna keep going after each other, just like KJ's gonna go after all of her victims. I hate to say it. The way he was gloating about H3 getting in the lawsuit is the way KJ gloats about the Duggars. It's their narcissistic behavior, I want to say, but I mean, They need to just leave each other alone. That's my opinion. And just keep your fans to your side.
Let's not forget that Keemstar sent a whole community after a man by wrongfully identifying him as a pedo.
That's true. So they're both not innocent factors.
Oh, the little one says hi. She's so cute. Words have power.
Aw, I love her. She is so cute. And Jess just also said that they can still refuel the suit against them, but they have to do it separately from everyone else. And I did hear in the H3 After Dark podcast today that they're throwing in, like, as an example, Ethan's case that he had, the copyright case that he won over, as an example for their case. And it actually helps his case. And it's like, why are they even bothering adding that in? I get it. Not a lot of defamation cases and streaming cases and copyright cases have been won, but you're trying to sue the person that actually won that case. That's not looking too good to use against him, in my opinion. But I'm glad.
See, I just don't I don't really understand how all that works, because I know that if I go to Buffalo Wild Wings on a Saturday and there's a sporting event going on of some sort, they'll be playing it in the bar.
Mm-hmm.
So how come they can't?
And they usually only pay for it one time, not for every single TV.
Right. So I don't understand how this works.
Because that's technically illegal streaming there as well. Exactly. When you told me that, I was like, oh, yeah. Never thought of it that way. But that is true.
But again, like, I would never pay that much money.
It depends on who's fighting. That's me and my boyfriend like that stuff. So we were just talking about it today, how, like,
oh, so Snoop says they pay a different price to broadcast it. That makes sense.
Oh, that makes sense. Okay. Yeah, me and my boyfriend were happy to pay the $70 to see the Conor McGregor Mayweather fight that happened. It was worth it. They went all of the rounds and it was a great fight. The Jake Paul fight with Ben Askren, 2 minutes for $50. I'm sorry. I would have been so mad if I paid that money and saw a 2-minute fight. I would have been pissed.
See, I just don't, I can't think of the last time I paid to watch any sport. My younger brother, he lived with us for a couple years, and he can tell you people that haven't played in 30 years, and he knows their stats. Like, he loves any kind of sporting event. And I think once he got married and moved out of my house, I haven't watched anything since then. I'm like still like detoxing from that. Like, you couldn't go into the living room at any given day without something being on the TV. It was just not my bag.
But yeah, everyone has their things that they like. So, and that's something that me and my boyfriend have in common. And we're huge Conor McGregor fans, even though we feel like he doesn't have the fire anymore in his eyes. And if he did fight Jake Paul,
now it looks like I'm in a smoking room.
And now I see the smoke. Well, speaking of Jake Paul, for all of our other sport fans, Jake Paul, after a news conference to promote the Logan Paul and Floyd Mayweather fight, Jake Paul sparked a brawl by taking Mayweather's hat. And actually, before I started this live, I saw the TikTok that he did. And Jake Paul said in his TikTok, yo, guys, I'm going to steal his hat. And he started a brawl with Floyd, and he took his hat, and it turned into them trying to fight each other, people holding them back, and it went on and on and on. And people kept pushing them apart and went into a new area. They got back together in their face, got pushed into a new area, and he was trying to say to Mayweather before he took his hat, why don't you fight Logan and then you fight me? And Mayweather agreed to it, and they were
I
like,
saw
yeah.
that. I saw that Snoop Medic. Jake's been banned from the arena now on the night of the fight.
Yes, he has. So that came out today that he's been banned. He can't go. So that means Mayweather can't fight him either.
So I made this joke because
Well,
even though I don't care about sports, I saw the update with the whole hat thing. That's how I used to flirt with boys when I was in middle school. I want to point that out. Like at recess, I would take their hat and run and giggle.
that's
So,
funny. Well, you know,
Yeah.
I saw that, like, I read that on like a trending page, and my husband and I were both reading it. Jake got clocked during that. Like, Mayweather would kill that man, because just in that, with
I
all
agree.
those people keeping them off, did you see the side of Jake's face? He clocked him good. He got a good punch in.
I have a little clip of it. For the most part, there was a lot of people there, so this is just one.
Get Al Heyman. Absolutely. Yeah. Let me call Al Heyman. Let's make it happen. 2 in 1 night. Got you hat.
You gotta listen.
I knew that would happen.
But there's just so many people there that you can't see what's really happening. And that's pretty much it. This guy that got this angle, he didn't get a good angle. But I've seen other clips where you can see that Mayweather clocked him pretty darn well. I'll tell you.
Yeah, there's a picture of the side of his face, and it's red. Like, it's going to hurt.
Yep.
I did see a clip where you can see where he actually hits him.
Yeah. You don't steal a man's hat at all.
No,
Not
I'm saying
Mayweather.
you do that when you're 11 and you're trying to get another 11-year-old to pay attention to you. You steal his hat and you run on the recess, giggling while you do it.
Yeah. Well, I'm a little disappointed that, Floyd can't fight both of the brothers that night. That would probably be something I pay for. I know my boyfriend would want to see it because Mayweather puts on a good fight. Not like he was mad, so he, clocked Jake there, but he's the type where he will go a little bit light with them through the first couple rounds and then go hard to make it a good show for everybody. And that's just how we kind of see it, in my opinion, and my boyfriend's opinion, because the Conor McGregor fight was damn good, and I can see this fight being good, but I don't know about Logan being a good fighter. I know he's fought and stuff. I would rather see, if I had to choose which brother, I'd rather see Jake versus Mayweather over Logan versus Mayweather.
I don't know. I feel like Logan would be a better fighter. I've never watched Logan fight. I've never watched either one of them fight because I think they're both ridiculous. But whenever my husband and I were reading that article, we were talking about it. And my husband he likes to box. He was a boxer. So he knows a lot about this stuff, and he watched a lot of these people. Big fan of Conor McGregor also. But he was saying, like, Floyd Mayweather is not the type of guy that's going to come in and knock him out. Floyd, he's going to jump around and move around, and he's going to wear them down. Like, he's a points guy, and I don't know if Logan or Jake have the stamina for a fight like that. Because his MO is that he'll go a lot of rounds and eventually just get you in the, I mean, he has knocked people out and he's capable of it, but it's not the way he likes to fight. He likes to get jabs in and get out of there quick, and you can't catch him. He's little, he's fast, and that's what makes him a good fighter.
Yeah, so, I agree. I agree with your husband. He knows. See, we watch the same. I'm glad he's a Conor fan. See? But yeah. Okay. So I agree though. That's how Floyd Mayweather.
Well, and I think, like, especially in Jake's case, from what I've seen, he kind of depends on just knocking someone out early, right?
That's kind of his MO. Yeah.
Jake? That you said Jake? Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that's so. An untrained fighter, that's what they would do, because they're not trained well enough to last a long time. and take a bunch of hits. Like, I just don't see Jake being the type of guy that could take a bunch of hits to the face. You know, like he got clocked one time for taking Mayweather's hat, and the side of his face looked like a truck ran over him. So I just don't think he's going to last all that long. He's too pretty for that, he thinks. You know,
his face would be destroyed, and he'd be like, "Oh my god, my face! Oh my god!" I could see that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
See, I don't have the temperament to be a boxer, because as soon as someone hit me, even though I would know that that was the purpose, I would be like Tanya Harding on them.
Yep. Oh yeah.
Oh, Tanya. I was a figure skater, so that was a big ordeal when I was ice skating, and Nancy Kerrigan and.
Well, I mean, that was just a big ordeal anyways. Like, I remember being little and still, like, that's all that was on the TV, like, because, I mean, she took the knee out of the girl that was in the Campbell's commercial. How rude.
Right. Well, I mean, it's the Olympics. Like, you didn't mess with the Olympics.
Nancy was a good figure skater, too. That was my mom's favorite figure skater, was Nancy Kerrigan. So my mom cried and cried and cried. I remember that. It was like, oh, it's okay, Mom. Like, you still got me, but I never went to the Olympics, so.
It was a huge deal. It's funny whenever people ask me now, whenever I say something like Tanya Harding, her, like you just said, and people are like, what? What does that mean?
That's how you know they're too young. Yep. And I think, Stacey, you have that TLC story, too.
Oh, well, actually, it was Funny Fridays, the video that came out today that we mentioned earlier, where she really delves into all of the problematic people / shows TLC has had on the air. Going back to Honey Boo Boo, you know, there's a long history of Mama June having some bad partners.
Including Elena's father. Elena's real father. It was convicted of that. Then she married or moved in with another one. Yeah, I watched it. It was very interesting to see the whole like all of it pan out. I'm surprised she didn't mention the Seeking Sister Wives people.
See, I think that story's still too new that no one really knows what's going to happen with that, because I didn't watch the show up until a week ago when I found out all this stuff was happening.
I know.
Oh,
me
I love
either.
the show.
I'd seen the commercials for it, but I never watched it. And
I love the show.
Now I'm like, I got to go find out who these people are. Like, there's so much drama in this. I watched John Yates interview one of the former wives, and that was so interesting. I mean, I feel bad for her because of what she went through, and she put her children through that too, that are not Dimitri's children.
And
they're saying that's a false rumor. The restraining order got dropped.
Well, that's from Chrissy, but John Yates interviewed Ari, which was a different wife, and Ari claims that there's at least 24 women who have been a sister wife at some point in time.
She's a potential sister wife, Ari. So she's not an actual sister wife at the moment.
No, she's not anymore. She left. She left.
That was the one, yeah. She got married with them and then left like a month later.
No, she was with them for about 6 months, I think. Because she moved in with them when they were in an apartment, and they ended up moving into a house. Yeah. And she moved with them, and they were several months. Then she's saying that he was abusive. And that they were both abusive, and it was a very volatile relationship. And she went into a lot of details about like what the way they were manipulating people. She claims that he doesn't have any money, that he borrows all of his money, and like the house was like the rent was like $3,000 a month, but he would sell fake goods to people, and that's how and get them to give him a lump sum of money, and that's how he kept up the lifestyle, like buying the Hummer and all that stuff. Like he would, like a company would pay him, or someone he knew would pay him to make them an app. And because he works in IT, I guess, and he would never make it. He would get, $120,000 for something and then never follow through on the deal and just rob people of money, is what this woman is claiming. Now, I know nothing about him, his job.
Yeah.
Like I said, I've never watched the show, but she's also claiming that he's a convicted felon, and that he owns guns. Like, that was one of her big issues, was he's not supposed to because he's a convicted felon. And it's just interesting. Like, doesn't TLC vet who they're putting on their shows? They wouldn't know this about him.
Didn't they also have someone on 90 Day Fiance that had some
They did. I'm not a big 90 Day Fiance fan like most people are.
My younger sister loves it, so I hear all the gossip that goes on because that is her show. But I honestly don't watch it. I just know that somebody has some domestic violence type charges.
Yeah.
I think that so Jen makes a really good point about this. I know that it's like, listen, I like to watch train wrecks too. I love, reality TV. I'll watch trash TV with the best of them. However, I think it's weird that we watch like stuff like 90 Day Fiance. I mean, this is literally people using other people to get into the United States or to make money. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
this is not good. These people, they're not doing this for the right intentions. And correct me if I'm wrong. Like, tell me, has there been a couple that stayed together that actually fell in love, or is this really all for show? Like the Married at First Sight show too.
I would not know the answer to that.
I don't know. It feels like it's exploiting people. I just, in the same way that I think that TLC exploits the hell out of children. You've got John and Kate +8. You've got Honey Boo Boo, Toddlers and Tiaras, Little People Big World, the Roll-Offs, which there's all kinds of drama with them. I mean, how many other shows are there where they just kind of, I don't know.
There is a 90 Day Fiance couple that stayed together. It's the couple that lives in Florida. They were the first season. And I love them.
Oh, of course they live in Florida. Why?
Yeah. Why can't I think of their name? They're my favorite couple too.
So there's like Russ and Paulo or something like that.
Well, yes, Russ and Paulo is another one that stayed together.
Someone, Night Runner said Libby and Andre.
No, that's another one that has stayed together. I think Russ and Paulo live in Florida too, though. That's
There's Alan and Curl Yam. Lewis and Aya.
Maybe it's Russ and Paula. No, so I'm looking at the photo and it doesn't look like them. I'll figure it out and I'll be like, yeah, that's them. Maybe it was 90 Day Fiance. I do know that because it had the girl from Connecticut that she had like a boyfriend that was in Amsterdam, and she ended up not getting married with him, and then the next season her boyfriend was in France and they ended up not getting together.
Is it Lauren and Alexia?
Maybe. Oh, right here. Yes, Lauren and Alexia. Yes, that's them. They're still together. They have a kid. I love them. They're one of my favorites. That's when I watched 90 Day Fiance, was back then when it was like season 1 and the Russ and Paula and all of them. The lady from Connecticut, I can't think of. She has her twin sister, and then they had a show together on TLC.
See, when I was growing up, TLC was where you watched like shows like Trading Spaces and
yeah. They still play that every now and then.
They do. But okay. So I watched Big Ed. Like when I found, that's how I kind of got into 90 Day Fiance, and that's the only one I watched. The only season because they started to report on it. And I mean, that was an interesting train wreck to watch. That guy he's something. So to watch him like go to the Philippines to meet Rose's family and all the stuff that they went through, and he would say some just crazy stuff. So I get it. Like I said, I love a good train wreck, and
Yeah.
I watch him too. But it just, I don't know. There's something about it that just seems like, what is TLC doing? Why is it all about reality? And it doesn't ever seem like they're good people, you know? Like all of them are problematic. All of them.
Like the baby Lisa or whatever her name was. Like her Instagram was crazy. I remember I used to go like look at some of the stuff she was doing.
Yeah. They have a lot of controversial shows.
And didn't baby girl Lisa say some words that you're not supposed to say?
Yep, she did. She did.
Also, it cringes me the crap out that someone in like at her age is calling themselves baby girl. Like
yeah.
Stop.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, Big Ed with his mayonnaise hair. That was disgusting. I did see that.
I agree with you, Truffle. There's some guys that exclusively will definitely go for that, and they usually do have lots of problems.
Yeah. And that was a couple that had problems as well. That was one of them. But yeah, you're right. TLC, the more I think about it, the more shows have a lot of issues. They've had a lot of shows that have a lot of controversial people or issues with the people that are in the shows after the fact or before the fact. It's like, do they do background checks? Do they do these psychological exams that they say that they do? And I watch a lot of TLC, so I can't hate on them because I do watch these crazy shows that they put on the air and all of that.
Maybe I should go open up a new Instagram account and see if I can get the name like Old Lady Stacy.
There you go.
I'll brand myself.
Old Lady Stacy.
So I'll brand myself. It worked for her.
It did. They had a rap song, I think, that was made for her and all of that. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Yes, I agree, Knuckles. They did kind of seem to take a turn in the past 10 to 15 years. There are still some good shows out there. I mean, I watch Outdaughtered. I think that was pretty interesting where she had, the 5 girls and getting to see them grow up on the show is pretty nice. They haven't had any issues from what I'm aware of. I'm trying to think.
Wait,
Parking Wars was one of my favorite shows. Outdaughtered?
Is that the one that has like the
Busbies?
The Busbies, yes. Yeah. They're quintuplets. There's 5 of them. Yeah. Which
I watched one episode, and it was an episode where basically she was being told that she's a mean mother.
Is KJ watching our stream right now?
Who? Us?
KJ. Because her tweet, literally, that she just put out at 11:06 a minute ago, TLC really loves to host content that is degrading to women. Makes me feel like someone in charge at the network hates women. And she had another tweet at 11:03 saying toxic positivity and toxic masculinity in the foundation of the IBLP. This cult is destructive, abusive, and leading to women and children being AR'd and aid. The Duggars and the Bates use their show to recirculate into the cult. It's disturbing that TLC refused to cut ties. Are you listening, KJ? Hi, KJ, if you are listening.
That's like the longest tweet ever. I swear.
It's all in a tweet.
Here we go again. Social justice warrior, virtue signal, Katie. Like, no one cares. I mean, no one cares what Katie has to say about these things.
No.
I think it's crazy.
I just thought it was ironic. It's like she reads my mind. I swear to God.
Well, I don't know. Why does everything have to be about TLC must hate women? Really? Like, because
they have so many shows.
Problematic people on? Doubt it.
Right.
Like, Maybe someone at TLC does, but guess what? An inanimate object like a channel can't hate something. So maybe some of the people there do, but are you going to just put a blanket over everyone and say everyone that works for TLC is a misogynist pig that hates women, they're bigots, they're racist, they're horrible, we should just boycott?
Mm-hmm.
You're like, maybe some of them are just trying to pay their light bill, asshole.
For real.
Exactly.
And let's face it, there's still a million people who watch the shows and love them.
Yeah.
So
that's the point I've been trying to make to people that are saying, like, I don't know why she wants them to be canceled. That's how she makes her money. She will make more money if people can't go to a show to see what's going on with this family that they are obsessed with at this point. They will go to places like her channel to see what they can't see on TV anymore.
I agree. And I feel bad for them going to her channel. Like,
I mean, think about like reality shows that you used to watch that are off the air, or the people aren't on them anymore. How many times have you logged on and been like, I wonder what happened to that person? And get sucked down a rabbit hole.
I do it all the time.
You're like 8 hours later. Yeah, like 8 hours later, you already know what their 3 ex-girlfriends ago new husband's aunt looks like, and you're like, what the heck was I doing again? Like, who was I even looking up?
Yep. I remember doing that. It was the Alaskan Bush women. Forgot the name of the show. And it took me like, I was there for 10 hours just looking at their Instagrams and their Twitters and their Facebooks. No, not the Alaskan Bush people. It was, no, not them. It was a show just about Alaskan women. I think it was called Alaskan Women. It was on, I want to say, not the Weather Channel. It was a weird channel that it was on.
Have you ever seen that one? I don't know the name of it, but it's about the Arctic Circle, that there's like only 5 families that still, because it's protected now by the government, that land.
I've heard of it.
5 families that have land there their grandchildren can live there. And after that, like the land goes back to the government and it's all protected land, and there will be no humans living on that land ever again. So they have it for like the next 100 years, but there's only 5 of them. It's really, that is an interesting show. It's quiet. Like, it's the way that they follow the people around. It's not like action packed or anything. It's very quiet, but it's also just insanely interesting that there's people out that live like that. I mean, that's got to be rough conditions. That's the kind of reality stuff I watch. Crazy stuff like that.
So I guess it's Alaskan Women. It was a TLC show. They only had 2 seasons. Because I'm looking at her Twitter page right now. Alaskan Heather is her name.
See, I make fun of Preston because you can hear him in his office. He'll be using the Discovery app, just watching the people that look for gold or whatever. And I always call him.
Yeah.
I always call it the wrong thing, and he gets mad at me. He's like, "It's not called that," and I'm like, "Well, that's what I call it." And he loves that show.
I watched that show, but I think there's like 4 of them. There's spinoffs.
Deadly Rock. Gold Diggers is what I always call it, but I think it's actually called like Gold Rush or something.
It's Gold Rush. It is. I call it Gold Diggers as well, though.
Yeah. I do every time, and I don't mean to. I'm just like, "Are you watching Gold Diggers again?" And he's like, "Quit calling it that."
Well, they have the one in Alaska, the one in Washington, the one that they do off the boat, the one that they do on the land. They have like 4 spinoffs, like you said, of it.
Have you
Deadliest
watched
Catch is a good show.
Deadliest Catch is a good show. I've watched that for a long time. Have you watched the Gold Digger one? Gold Rush one, where they what is it? They have to like they're under whitewater rapids. Like they have to move rocks, and then they take like a vacuum thing down there and they vacuum all the sand up and siphon it through, and that's how they have to literally get in scuba gear, go underneath the water, put cranes in the water to move these giant like 1,000-pound rocks. Yeah. That's a lot of work that I am not willing to do.
But they might hit pay gold.
They do. And they hit
They
some
do,
big
actually.
pay
They make some
goals.
money.
Oh my
Yeah.
God, do they? That's where the good gold is, apparently.
Yeah. Well, Preston can go do that. I'm not.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't watch
so
a lot
that's
of reality
interesting.
TV anymore. I keep up with it, but I don't really watch it. I don't have that
I
kind of
always
time
had the TV
anymore.
on.
No, like
Yeah.
sometimes I'll turn it on, but I won't even be paying attention to it. I'll be doing something on my computer and it's playing in the background.
Yeah.
Well,
that's
yeah,
how I
that
am.
might-
I don't think I've like paid attention to any shows and followed what's happening with the people in a long time. And Leanne just mentioned Oak Island. Let me tell you, I have watched that show, and there's something about Oak Island that just cracks me up. Every time my husband and I see a commercial for it on TV, I'm like, look, it's the 15th season of Oak Island and they're getting closer to finding nothing. Like, how long have they been digging for stuff on that show? Have they ever found
a long
anything?
time.
I know.
Long time.
Just think it's funny. They just keep digging. And I'm not sure that I haven't watched every episode, so I could be wrong, but it's just I've never seen them find anything. So I just think it's so funny that they're still out there. But I guess that's what archaeologists do. You know, you could go your whole life and not really find anything of value.
So there was a very short-lived reality show that was taped about 3 miles from where I grew up about a guy that was a taxidermist. I think it was called I don't even remember what it's called. I can't even tell you. But I know that one day, like, a whole bunch of law enforcement showed up at his place because during the show, I guess, he was showing off some of his stuff, and it was things he had poached, like a bear he didn't have permission to kill. He had it stuffed, and it was like the bear was actually displayed outside of his business. So, like, he was just putting it out there, like, look, here's where I broke the law, and over here's where I broke the law. It's American Stuffers, maybe, is what it was called. I never watched it because I was so embarrassed that I was going to be, like, associated with these people.
I watch a lot of TV.
That's hilarious.
So unlike you ladies.
Something I did watch that was a total train wreck was Tiger King. I could
I've
not get enough of it. I love Tiger King.
I never watched that show.
Oh my God, you have to see it. It's crazy. But there is someone who was talking about watching. I guess the guy, one of the guys that owns a zoo has a show now on something, and someone was interviewing him, and he's like, yeah, it's really illegal to sell tigers. And then he's like, you can buy baby tigers. Like, you can still buy baby tigers in the United States, and just remember that, because people will do it, like the baby alligators.
Wow.
That they still buy them. So it's just funny. He said it on screen. He said it on camera, like, oh yeah, it's totally illegal, and yeah, I sell them. He kind of didn't even realize he was doing it.
And there's been a few stories in the years here where someone will have a tiger and it escapes, and they're like, hey, y'all, watch out, there's a spare tiger running around. And you're like, who? What is wrong with you people?
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
I mean, if you want to see a tiger, go do the same thing the rest of us do. There's a zoo in Little Rock.
Yep. You can probably YouTube, like, a lot of zoos have YouTube channels where you can watch certain animals during the day, at night. They have one I know in New York where you can watch the giraffe, and it was a big thing. April the giraffe had many babies, and you could watch her have the babies on camera.
There's some reserves in Africa that stream all day where you can see the actual animals in the wild from the cameras, and you can look at all of them, because my sister will sit there and watch it all day, even though there's nothing to see except animals walking in front of a camera.
I've been doing that with the ospreys, the birds, the osprey birds. I'm probably not saying that right.
No, you're saying it right. Yeah, ospreys. You're saying it right.
Because my aunt there's this huge osprey nest in Maine, and my aunt was like, oh, they just put a camera up. And I'm like, I'll find it for you if you're saying it's on YouTube, and I'll find it for you. And I found it. And ever since then, I didn't realize how much of a a community of wildlife cameras that they have, and there's a whole site and a whole thing where you can find like an area that you want to look. You can watch the puffers, you can watch these different birds, you can watch these deers. They have deer ones. They have all these crazy different animal cameras all throughout the US and throughout the world that you can find and watch these birds and other animals. And I've been hooked on the osprey because I want to see them make their nests in Maine. That was my goal.
My older sister's obsessed with bears, so that's where she spends most of her time, is at the national forest, just watching the bears.
Like, it's called Earth Cam. That's what it's called. I just looked it up. It's Earth Cam, and you can go there and look at different things.
That's cool.
You can look at your town. If your town has a camera on their town hall, you can see what's going on in the town. They have these.
Well,
Hey, and there's a lot of drama going on over at the Northern Lights stream. If you guys want to head over there, they don't get along apparently.
No, we've been there plenty of times just to see the Northern Lights, and they're always having a war with each other on that stream.
It never occurred to me that they would have to have moderators for the live chat for the Northern Lights.
Unreal. That's crazy. Well, just so you know,
funny.
For reference, there is a tiger sanctuary that you can visit 1 hour away from me. And it's called the Caddyshack Ranch, and you can go, it's really interesting. They feed the tigers in front of you. They drop it through this hole in the fence, and then there's another line of fencing. And the tigers have their own places that they go to eat their food. They don't fight over it. So the chicken that gets dropped in this hole is this one tiger's chicken, and he knows it. It's really neat. Kind of terrifying, but really neat.
That sounds awesome. Yeah, well, they're doing some cool stuff on YouTube besides all these crazy commentators that we all watch.
You don't just go to the Big Cat Rescue to see tigers, Kim?
Okay, listen, I don't live that close to Carol Baskin. However, I would love to go just because I think
so. We're just doing a road trip of Florida whenever me and Jackie come down, because we're going to the psychic town for sure, right?
Yep. Yes.
Yep.
There's we can do the haunted tours in St. Augustine. Super fun.
Mm-hmm.
Universal
for sure.
Yep. There's Busch Gardens in Tampa.
Yes.
And that's also near Mrs. Baskin and her tigers.
Yes.
And then up north, in St. Augustine, is where the Caddyshack Ranch is. So you can go there. And then what was that other place that we were going to go to that haunted house in Daytona.
Yes.
So we're going to do this in October, though. That way we can do the Halloween Horror Night after hours at Universal.
Oh, yeah.
100%. And because it won't be 9,000 degrees.
Exactly.
That's true. And I don't do hot weather. So
it'll still be 98, but it won't be 100.
It'll be bearable. It'll be bearable for me.
In October, in all fairness, in October, it gets down to 75 some days. So,
that's good.
See, usually whenever we go, because we usually go late September, early October, that way we can do the Halloween Horror Nights.
Knuckles, been there, done that. I've already hit up Salem on Halloween. Been there, done that. I've partied in the Salem town center with all of them. So
we'll usually go at that time, and during the day it'll get really, really hot around noon, and we'll go get in the pool. But by the time evening hits, it's a really nice 70s. With a breeze blowing.
A nice cool breeze, but it's still warm. You can have a t-shirt on if you want. Then again, I'm the girl.
I bought the grossest alcoholic beverage I've ever had in my life just because the glasses lit up last time we went to Horror Nights.
That sounds fun. And
so as y'all can see, if you can give me something that lights up, I'll buy it.
Disney has some cool Halloween Mickey ears. I might just have to swing by a gift shop just to get the Mickey ears.
So interesting facts about Disney World. In case any of you are coming to visit, anyone listening, they're going to up their occupancy on June 1st, right in time for Pride. because Disney does a big Pride Festival.
Yes, they do.
So right now they're at 50% occupancy. They're upping that to, I think, 75% by June 1st, which is going to be madness in the city. But then also there were reports today, because there's there's a ton of growth in Central Florida right now. Everybody is moving to Florida. But we found out that there is enough land next to Disney for 2 more theme parks that are the size of Disney, Epcot, Universal, and Margaritaville put together. There's that
And
much.
what are they doing with this land?
Undeveloped. Oh, it belongs to the Disney Empire. So
they can just keep adding to the Disney awesomeness. They have a new movie that comes out. They'll add a theme park.
Yeah, don't they also have like a resort they started to build and then just abandoned it? So there's just like this giant empty shell of a hotel out there.
There's a lot of stuff like that. I mean, there's a hotel on every corner, but
no, I mean Disney. Like, didn't they build one? Like a.
I want. Yeah. Well,
it was supposed to be like a 3 buildings.
Didn't they give it? They gave it to the Four Seasons. So I think that the Four Seasons are going to build a resort out there. But yeah, they're planning on building more stuff. But there's a whole city that Disney built called Celebration, and it's
that story.
Yeah, that I don't want to talk about the story, but Celebration's actually a really neat place. But it's literally a Disney World like city. And everything there is really cute, and the houses are very expensive. But they actually, during the winter, they bring in ice and snow, and they build ice rinks in Celebration so that all the snowbirds that come down feel like they're back home.
That would be my spot.
Yeah, but I mean,
that would be my spot.
If you can afford Celebration, let me tell you, like it's probably a great place. But no,
maybe if I hit the lotto, I don't think my boyfriend would want to live there, though. Unfortunately. Well, yeah.
Can we have a good Star Wars section? Yeah, I don't know, because Star Wars was bought out by Disney, so I just don't know that it'll ever be right. Like putting a Disney spin on Star Wars just seems weird to me.
So, Kim, when is the new Harry Potter side at Universal supposed to open? Because we also need to plan the trip after that happens.
I am not sure. I will find out. I do have inside scoops, so I'll get some dates on that one. They've just started, like a lot of the projects that they put on hold because of COVID in Orlando. They've just started back up building some really huge resort hotels. Like we need any more of those. I swear to God, there's hotels everywhere, but it's happening. Yeah. Oh yeah, well, you're going to Disney in July. Have fun. It's gonna be crazy. And
I am like everything Harry Potter. I love Harry Potter, so I even have the wand that you can stand out in the park and like swirl it around and it performs spells.
That's awesome.
Oh my, that's really cool. I mean, they really went out for I think that is probably one of the best parts of the park. And it's super magical out there. Like it's just a really good experience, but I don't know. Some of it's kind of outdated and they need to do some sprucing up.
I haven't been to Disney since I was 21, and then before that I was 4, so I can't really recall Disney when I was 21 because I was drunk the whole time. That was right before they got rid of Pleasure Island, and Pleasure Island was the hot spot to be if you were 21. They had the rotating dance floor,
We went to Disney, I think, when I was 14, and after we went, we had already been going to Universal. Like we were like, hey, can we not do Disney again? Because in my family, we go for the roller coasters. Mm-hmm. And like the worst roller coaster at Disney World, they let you put your stuff in a Velcro pouch and the seat in front of you. If that tells you how non-scary the roller coasters are.
Yeah.
So at 14, me and my siblings, we're like, no, y'all, the Disney is not it.
Yeah, I love roller coasters too, so I'm with you there. I can't recall Disney very much. I remember getting drunk in the hot tub, and that's not a good thing because it's.
I mean, if you've got small children, Disney is awesome. I recommend everyone go at least once. But if you're going for roller coasters, Disney's not going to be a good time.
They got plenty of other places nearby.
The addendum to that is if they're too small, don't go. If they can't remember, like if they're 3 or 4, all they're going to do is complain the whole time because they're going to get tired of walking. They're going to be like, it's hot. I want to go. Why do I want to stand in this line? Like, don't do it. If they're not mature enough to stand in a line for a long time and deal with heat and maybe not be complainers. But the toddler kindergarten age is not a good age to take kids to Disney. So
that was me.
And Universal has Dr. Seuss World, and they have that parade that comes through, and there's never lines like there is at Disney for your young children.
That's very true. And I drive by. It's funny because Universal's like right in the middle of Orlando. It's so weird because it's not like out where Disney is. And it's funny because you can be on I-4 and you drive literally like right past Orlando, and you drive past there's the big mountain and you can see it. So it's really, and it's fun that Universal's kind of in the middle of it all. So, but it's so huge and you wouldn't think it's like right there, and there's a whole city around it.
Yeah.
I had the leash as a kid when we went to Disney, like not the backpack leash, like an actual leash harness. And I remember the only thing I do remember was I was petrified of Pluto because he was a big dog and I was scared of big dogs. Even though I had a husky, I was scared of this huge dog and I cried my eyes out. And I have pictures of the Disney trip that kind of helped me remember, not really, but that's about it. I mean, I really don't remember Disney. I need to go when I remember. Like, I'm not 21 anymore. I'm not a kid. I'll probably remember Disney this time. I remember, what is it? It's a Small World After All, that ride. I remember that ride.
Because you can't forget that ride.
It just stuck in your head. And those animated, like, doll things that move.
And everybody gets on it with a thought in their head that's like, it can't be as bad as people say. And by the time it gets like a quarter of the way through, you're like, when is this over?
Mm-hmm. It's bad. It's bad.
I could probably walk faster than these little things if you just want to let me out, is how I felt.
I feel like they don't upgrade it or change it either. They keep it the same as it is, because I remember it when I was 4, and then I remembered it when I was 21, and it was the same exact ride. Like, nothing changed. So,
and of course, you got to ride the teacups and pretend to be like you're on Full House.
Yep. I remember that.
But that's what is it, Space Mountain? And then after you do those three things, it's like, okay, well, we can pick one more ride to stand in line for the entire day, and we might get on it.
Well, they have those VIP bands.
Mr. Toad's Wild Ride. That's the one. Because it's wild. You ever been on that one?
No. Not that I recall.
Mr. Toad's Wild Ride? You've never been on that? Oh, yeah.
I could have possibly been on it, but I don't.
It's not wild at all, by the way. Like, you can put a 3-year-old on it. I don't know if you've been on the Children's Small World one. Super creepy. A bunch of little kids singing, and you're like in a boat. It looks like you're in a canoe. Yeah. That's children. Okay. And they sing "It's a Small World After All" through the whole thing. Mr. Toad's Wild Ride is very similar to that. It's like it's not a roller coaster. It's just like a little ride. Very cute. Near the Rainforest Cafe, if anyone wants to know.
Oh, the Rainforest Cafe. I remember that.
Yeah, that's a famous one.
Snoop just posted in Discord that Jake Paul got a tattoo for Floyd Mayweather saying, "Gotcha hat." Oh my God. There you go. See, he does everything for the clout too. Well, that's Jake Paul for you. But I hope you had a great birthday, dear Vet Show.
Jackie's got a birthday coming up too, you guys. If you want to tell her happy birthday.
It'll be Sunday. I got to celebrate with all the mothers, which that was always a kid. I hated that I had to share it sometimes with my mom, and now my mom's how many states away, and I'm like, I can't celebrate with you. And now I'm like, yeah, see, it turned around. But
yeah, see, Preston's is the 12th, so every few years he has to celebrate.
Yep.
Which even when his birthday's not on Mother's Day, we still just put them together. We're like, we're all going out to eat as a family, and it's for your birthday and Mother's Day.
Yep, and that's how we do it for me too. Which now I'm like, Graham, do you want to go out for my birthday? So I'm probably gonna go out with my grandmother to get. She reminded me. She's like, well, we went to IHOP last time. I'm like, yeah, I don't want to go to IHOP. I don't know where we're gonna go, but it's not gonna be IHOP. So we'll figure it out. But I'll probably be home on Discord with you guys.
Yeah. Well,
Celebrating
we
my
hope
birthday.
it's happy, everyone. Jackie's going to be 21. So
Yes.
I wish.
I'm
turning 34 for the second time. I thought I was turning 34 last year, and really I was turning 33. And I got disappointed when I learned I was turning 33. So I'm turning 34 again. Finally.
I have forgotten how old I am before. I've done that before.
Yeah.
I don't forget now how old I am. Although
I feel like once you hit 30, you forget.
You do. You forget. Like, I'm like, am I 32 or 33?
Yes.
Like even now, I turned 40 a few months ago, 2 months ago. And even now, people will ask me how old I am. And I'm like, I'm 39. And I'm not doing that to be funny. I truly do not remember that I'm actually 40 years old until I think about it. And
it's because you get so used to getting that date. You get that date in your head, and then then it's all of a sudden your birthday again, and it's like now you have to remember a new date. It's that 21 times break a habit.
Kim, didn't we decide that since we're twins, we had to take our ages and divide them? So that means like we're both 37.
That's right. I'm 37 forever.
Yeah.
I'm going to be like, what was that movie with Meryl Streep and Goldie Hawn? Death Becomes Her. I'm going to be like that, where I'm like painting my body back together at 90.
I mean, you can like seriously buy a dress that covers up that hole in your stomach. No one has to see that.
100%. I mean, if I can take a potion, it's going to happen. Everyone in my family lives to be like 300 anyway. It's ridiculous. And I'm like, okay, I guess I'm going to live a long time, hopefully. But yeah, I do want a magic potion anyway, because I'd like to I like to not get the wrinkles. And I don't want Botox. I don't know if I can do needles in my face, y'all. I just don't know.
Well, have you had a tooth pulled?
Yes, all my teeth have been pulled.
It's similar. It's similar to having, a needle.
Are they going to give me gas before they come? Because the dentist lets me put this little mask on until everything makes me giggle.
Right.
Yep. Laughing gas, nitrous oxide. Yes.
Because if I can't get that with the Botox needle, you're not getting anywhere close to me with a needle, because I will get up and run from needles.
Yeah. Well, I'm not like that, but I thought, okay, maybe I want to get collagen in my lips. I told my husband this. And then I thought about it. Like, I think I watched Nick Snyder get it on one of his videos. And I was like, hell no, I am never doing that. You will have to chase me down and tie me down I'm not doing it. It's not happening. So I don't know. I don't think I can do the Botox. I have a friend she's Brazilian, and before COVID, she would go home to Brazil every year and get Botox in Brazil. And then she's like, it's much cheaper. So she just does it there. So it's interesting. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe one day
I'm fine with needles. When I got the COVID shot, the guy's like, it's gonna hurt. I'm like, just stick it in my arm, please. Like,
yeah.
So instead, I just like rub retinol cream all over my face every night before bed. I'm like, don't wrinkle yet.
It helps.
Yeah,
every little bit helps.
A lot of expensive skincare. Well, they say it's CPR. It's collagen, peptides, and retinol is what you need for good skin. So,
truffle, you'll be fine getting your ears pierced.
I have vitamin C, retinol, and hydraulic acid.
Those are good too. Hydraulic acid is good for dry skin. I
That's
have
what's in my skincare routine.
I keep hearing noises
hyaluronic.
outside.
Is it it's not hydraulic. It's hyaluronic acid.
Yes, hyaluronic acid. Yes. And vitamin C is good for you too. Vitamin C and A, but C is the better of the two for your face.
Have you guys ever seen that Dr. Sabah from Cindy Crawford? You ever seen those infomercials?
Yes. Of
What's
course
that
I
stuff called?
have.
Meaningful Beauty? Is that what that's called?
Yes.
I want to speak to someone who's used this product. I want to know if it's real.
If it actually works.
Yeah,
I mean Cindy Crawford looks amazing.
I know, but Cindy Crawford's also a millionaire, and Cindy Crawford has
Very
also
true.
probably had Botox. I mean, let's just be real. And
Yeah.
she, and someone who can make all of her food and perfect, someone who can give her facials every day of her life. Like Cindy Crawford's not, working 60 hours a week and putting $5 foundation on her face like me. So there's some differences. I just want to know. I want to know if anyone's ever used it and if it's any good. Because you don't have to pay a lot of money to have the good stuff. But I also have a problem with okay, does any kind of cream that you put on your skin really work? Or is it just you need to drink more water? I don't know.
We'll have to look into that. We'll have to. Hey Snoop, we have a task. Let's write to the the Vivian show and tell her to get it for. Vivian tries. She tries all of that stuff. We'll have Vivian. Yeah, we'll have Vivian try it for you for like a month and see how well it works. That would be funny. I would love that. I love her. If you don't know who Vivian Tries is, she's a YouTuber that she tries a lot of as seen on TV products, the bad stuff on Amazon, the good stuff on Amazon. She's awesome. So check her out if you haven't. But what a week it's been, ladies, and it's nearing to that time. I've had so much fun with you guys.
Oh yeah, it's been a good night.
Yeah.
I know we didn't even talk. We talked a lot about Disney, but we didn't even talk about. Have you heard that Disney's they want to change the ends of some of their stories, like Sleeping Beauty and Snow White?
No, you can't do that.
Well, it's something about it's toxic masculinity to tell a story where she needs a man to kiss her in order to wake up.
It's a Disney story. You can't change Disney stories. That's my opinion, though.
I mean, before we do that, let's remember that Ariel's 15.
Yeah. Oh,
That's
yeah.
true.
She doesn't
He's
have. That's right.
young.
It's Night Runner. She doesn't have. He did not get consent to kiss her. That's what it is, because she's asleep.
Okay, but we're worried about a kiss to wake up from sleep, and Ariel is literally 15.
Going after a prince.
And getting married. Yep.
Yeah.
Well, The Little Mermaid's my favorite too.
The Little Mermaid's extremely problematic because she wants to change how she looks, and I mean, yeah, there's a lot of problematic stuff in Little Mermaid.
But see, when you're that age, you don't understand it like we now understand.
I mean, at this age, I still want to be a mermaid.
Same here.
Same. But I'll tell the Disney princess that I loved the most was Jasmine, because she stood up for herself. She was like, I am not a prize to be won. Thank you very much.
Mm-hmm.
And she didn't care about being rich. She didn't want to have an arranged marriage. She was strong-willed, and I really liked her story. So, the least problematic, maybe. I could be wrong.
I remember being mad that I had to wear a t-shirt under my Jasmine Halloween costume because it was too cold that year. Yeah. And I was so mad that my mom was ruining my costume.
Aw. That was something else that we actually were talking about the other night. With Halloween costumes, how little girls can't be the princess that they want anymore because certain princesses are of different nationalities or different races, and
I mean, you can still dress up as them.
Whatever princess they want to be, but people are making a big deal about this.
I think it falls into like the makeup they use when they're dressing up as that princess, which isn't necessary to depict. Like, my mom didn't spray tan me so that I matched my Jasmine costume. I'm just saying.
Exactly. You just wore the costume. So yeah, it could be. I mean, to Stacey's point, that could be extremely problematic. But I think it's more. We go in the wrong direction when we say someone like the girl who wore the I don't know what the name of it is, but it's like a traditional Chinese dress to her prom, and someone said, "You're appropriating my culture. Like you don't get to dress up like my culture." And it was just a pretty dress. And where I get the point of some of that stuff, I mean, I think if a little girl wants to be Moana and she's not Pacific Islander, what's wrong with that? Like, isn't that teaching more inclusivity to say
it is?
You can be whatever you want and you don't have to be tied down to roles. Like, if you have to be tied down to you can only be the little white girl or you can only be the little black girl, that's segregation.
I agree,
So,
and that was my issue when I heard it.
It's kind of like with the with like the feathers and stuff in the hair. Like, the problem with that is that it was never depicted correctly in the public to, like, we're doing it wrong anyway. Like, there were specific reasons you had those feathers, and there was, you know, and it meant something to somebody, and we're like, oh, look, pretty feathers. Like, yeah, that's going to make people mad because you're taking something that you don't understand and you're depicting it in the wrong light.
Yeah.
So you just kind of have to be careful, you know.
Yeah. Well, sure. You don't want to. You definitely don't want to do blackface or misconstrue a culture, like a cultural tradition, something that's religion based. It's, you know, but it's kind of like, you know how many people out there who aren't Catholic who have rosaries tattooed on their skin? You know what I mean? Like, should I really be mad about it because they just think the rosary is cool? I don't know. You know, it's what it is. Like, but I totally get if they're making fun of a culture, or if they're doing it with malice, or if they're just tone deaf to the situation. You know, like Blazing Saddles. You know, have you ever seen that movie? Holy crap. That movie is not okay to watch in this day and age. And the way they depict, like, natives, you know, like indigenous people, the way that they depict black people, it's really, really bad. So I get that, but I don't know. I think a little girl should be able to dress up like Moana. Just saying.
That's how I feel. Let them dress up whatever they want to dress up as. Be whoever you want to be.
Is it Julian Ho? Is that her name? The one that was like a dancer or something?
Yes, and her brother's name is Derek.
Yes. And she dressed up as Crazy Eyes, but like she did the black, like you would have known who she was dressing up as just with the hairstyle. You didn't have to paint your face.
Who is Crazy Eyes?
Yeah.
From Orange is the New Black.
Yeah.
Oh, and she painted her face? What's wrong with her?
Yep. It was very disrespectful, in my opinion.
Yes, words have power. That's exactly what I was talking about. Like, those were not depicted correctly. And so when you wear them now, you're just kind of rubbing salt into the wound.
Yeah. Yep. Because, you're actually Cherokee. That's right. Words have power. I remember that. Yeah. But, I mean, I think they just need to let the kids dress whatever they want. And we know what Disney character goes with what dress. They've made that kind of clear that every character has their own costume. So,
of course, like Halloween doesn't mean the same thing to me now because people have kind of taken it and they're like, we're going to celebrate Halloween on Saturday this year before. And when I was a kid, if Halloween was on Tuesday, you were up all night trick-or-treating on a Tuesday.
Yep. Same here.
I do not agree with changing it. Like, I think that's ridiculous.
Like that one always makes me mad. I'm like, nope, my candy light at my house ain't coming on until October 31st.
Whether you're there or not, and I'll eat the candy if you don't come.
Yeah, I don't actually have any like trick-or-treaters because where my neighborhood is mostly retired Air Force, so there's no children. So, but I always make sure I fill the candy bowl with all of my favorite candy just in case.
Same here. I had like 2 kids come to my door, and they were the kids that lived in the complex. But I live in an area where they bring people from inner city into the suburbs to go trick-or-treating because we have a parade over here where they walk the parade and they get prizes, and we give out some of the people give out huge candy bars down the
Most
road.
people don't
I
let
know
their
where
children
houses
trick or
are.
treat around here anymore. They do the trunk or treats at churches.
Yes.
Yes.
That's a big thing here too.
Yes.
Except there are certain neighborhoods, mine's one of them, where they like bus people in for Halloween. And we typically get like 300 kids on Halloween night. My husband has never gone trick-or-treating with us. I walk the kids through the neighborhood, and he has to stay at the house to give out candy.
Wow.
It's crazy. Like my neighborhood goes all out for everything. We've talked about the Christmas lights, and it's like Clark Griswold up in here, but they do it for Halloween too.
Like neighborhood fights with who's
Me and my older sister used to go home and change our costumes and go back to the houses that gave good candy when we were kids.
That's so like what we used to do too.
There's something else about that. All the people who are like, you're too old to be trick-or-treating. I would rather my teenager be out getting candy than doing some of the other things that
I agree there as well.
That's exactly it, Knuckles. Like we would do the initial walkthrough with our mom, and we would keep a note like that house gave good candy, that house gave good candy. And then we would go put on a costume that had like a mask, or we'd dress up as a ghost with a sheet over us so you couldn't see that it was the same kid. And we would go back to those houses.
Yeah.
We thought we were geniuses.
Yep. Oh, yeah. But
that's funny.
Yeah. Well, it's getting to that time. It's been a great night with you guys, and I've had a lot of fun. And we do have so we figured out a good day for the Duggar stream.
So what about a good time to premiere?
That's what I was going to say. Yes. Stacy has something special for us.
I have completed my, I can't read the entire chapters to you because that would be something that they could copyright us on. Yes. So I have finished the first chapter video of To Train Up a Child.
Yes.
It's complete and ready to go. And I think we're just going to premiere it so that way we can interact with the chat while it's doing it. Just want to know, might even thought about doing it tomorrow, like during the day at some point, because Saturdays are.
I think tomorrow would be great. And if you guys want to join us for tomorrow for it, it's a great video. I've already seen it. And it says a lot about how they.
It feels like I just got this video done. Then I'm like, okay, now I got to go do chapter 2.
Yep. And then it looked like on Discord, it was Thursday night that people voted for the best night to do the Duggar. So I'm thinking we might do the Duggar video on Thursday next week for everybody. That's probably going to be premiered as well, so we can talk to you guys in the chat. So we're going to have a busy week next week, guys. I'm excited.
Yeah, I'm not excited to read chapter 2, but I'm about to do it.
Yeah, she's doing it for all of us because I'm interested to learn as well. So
you volunteered as tribute.
You're right.
Yes. On the sword for all of us.
We let Jackie watch the Without a Crystal Ball streams, and I'll read the.
Yeah. I watch all the streams that they don't want to watch, and it's fine. Usually I'm like, all right, Knuckles and Snoop, let's do this together, and we watch them together at night, late at night though. So if you want to join Discord and watch our crazy streams with us.
And I feel like we're just going to let Mr. Duggar stay the stupid person of the week for the next few weeks at least, and we don't even have to explain why. He can just be him.
We have nothing to say to him either because he should already know better. You're a fucking moron. I mean, there's nothing more to say but that. You're a moron. Leave the children alone.
Yeah. So,
But yes.
And anyone that is in the Discord gets to know when we're going to be doing stuff before anybody else does. So, and they also get to, we like to run things by people like, hey, would y'all want to see? Would you be interested in this? So, yeah, come join us in Discord.
You can email us and we'll send you an invite, or you can find Mr. Hanil by search if you have Discord already. If you don't have Discord and want the invite list, which will help you download the app and all of that. And if you don't know what Discord is, I did make a Discord video that explains all what Discord is and how to use it and all the cool features. And I'd be happy to send that to you as well if you'd want to learn. So Discord's fun. We have a lot of fun there, guys. So come join us. But yeah, we'll see you guys tomorrow.
Yes. Take care of
tomorrow.
yourselves. I hope everybody has a good weekend. Stay healthy. Stay away from bad stuff on the internet. Have a great night.
Have a great night, y'all.